Oh, I'm so over this fucking hair. Oh, my camera's not working. Cool. I have to restart my whole OBS, and it's gonna crash when I do it. Well, I'm gonna try to restart my OBS before it fucks all my shit up. Let's see what happens. Hey Destiny, would love to chat COVID/lab leak with you. Heard you were open to chatting about this again and we're asking for retarded conservatives to come debate me. You know what, dude? If you could figure out how to get into Discord, sure thing. Oh, I think the manifolds thing is working now. Apparently, I think you can cash out your Manifold Markets account for a sub and chat if you're doing well.
God, the slow blade penetrates the shield. God, the slow blade penetrates the shield.
True. I'm in Debate 2 Politics channel right now. Damn. Oh, before we hop into this, I realized my train system doesn't work as is. These are only for loading, not unloading. Well, they're only for unloading, not loading. So I need to mirror these train tracks to build separate stations on the other end. Oh, God.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, hi, what's up?
Okay?
Yeah, it sounds beautiful.
Thank you. Great to hear. So I heard you were open to talk about COVID and the lab leak again.
Sure.
I think I'm probably not as retarded as you think I am.
That's
Well,
all
obviously
good.
I'm baiting.
We're all a little bit retarded, okay?
Maybe on the inside. So basically I think that you touched on a point that I think is interesting, that we never really had a discussion about at what level we're willing to mandate things. I think probably vaccines work. I think there's some tail end risk that isn't really discussed. And I think taking tail end risks is probably not smart. That would be one position. Another position is I think that segmented lockdowns were probably as free of a lunch as you can ever get. Just by looking at numbers of, vulnerabilities and whatnot. It doesn't make sense for people who are over 60 or people who have comorbidities to be out and about. But there was really no reason to shut down society for healthy 20-year-olds who are sort of the backbone of the economy, and it kills a lot of their social life and whatnot.
Well, which part do you want to go over first?
Whichever you think is more interesting or better content or whatever.
Damn, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? It's your call right now. It's your time.
I mean,
to
I have a
shine.
little bit of bone to pick with RTBA, who banned me like 3 times off of Reddit and here.
How do you know it was him and not me?
Because he called me a retard in DGG and banned me while like admitting he didn't really have a reason to ban me. But I mean, it's his prerogative.
Okay, well, damn. Well, what do you want? Okay, well, aside from our RTBA drama, what else would you want to chat about?
I love RTBA anyways. I think that, like, do you think that segmented lockdowns would have made more sense?
When you say segmented lockdowns, do you mean like
by age, by basically by risk, yeah, which primarily is age and then comorbidities. So I would have supported something like, for example, if you're over 60, you have to stay home, and then like if you're over 40 or you have comorbidities, you get a choice. But if your employer is someone big, they can't fire you.
I think the challenge would have been that if everybody in society is circulating the disease at maximum capacity, I don't know if old people in homes would necessarily be protected because they intersect so much with like other people, unless I guess maybe extreme PPE measures are taken in homes, maybe.
You mean like retirement homes?
Any homes, any place where an old person lives, they're probably intersecting with some other type of young person, right?
Yeah, obviously, and then you try at those points, obviously, to have this maximum level, you know, of PPE.
But it would have to be like hardcore, like N90 or not N90.
Yeah, the N90.
It'd have to be like
the N100. Yeah, or
yeah, it'd
the
have to be like
99s.
some crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of those. That was probably my best purchase ever. I made so much money.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if at the end of the day it comes down to a numbers game. I'm not sure. I don't know if letting the virus like maximally circulate among young people, like uninhibited, I don't know if that would have been medically catastrophic. Even if it was a low fatality rate, it was so infectious that so many people got infected. I don't know if like hospitals would have gotten super overwhelmed. They already kind of did. With like healthy young people, even if it's only like 0.5% of them being affected, that might be enough to cause like significant damage to that population.
Okay, I think we're kind of getting into the weeds on this one, so it's probably not that interesting.
Sure. I mean, like, it's a hard... The problem is, like, that's an argument that is 100% an argument that can only be had.
Yeah, you have to look at the numbers, and that's
exactly,
a boring conversation.
Because there's a world where, like...
Yeah,
there's a world where, like, you do... Because lockdowns are all about balancing out, like, health and economy, right? There's a world where you don't lock down anybody except for old people, and maybe some more old people die than what would have, but maybe you, like, stave off, like, 80% of the economic damage, right? But there's another world where we don't do that, and the economic damage is largely sustained just because so many people are sick, and then a ton more old people die. It's like, well, it's not worth it. So like that's an argument that can only exist in numbers, I think. But
yeah, and it's very difficult, you know, to have the counterfactual numbers for this, given it's like a full society change. You can't really do a study on this.
Sure. I also think people also forget the different strains too. Like everybody is quick to throw out like what the fatality numbers and everything are now, but the initial COVID strains were more lethal, a lot more lethal than like the Omicron.
Oh, the initial ones were really scary. Yeah. I actually, so like for reference, I actually went into lockdown before my university or my job or anything went into lockdown. Like I just stopped going because I was reading really scary stuff and looking at some numbers that potentially looked really scary. But then I sort of reinserted myself in society because I'm healthy, I'm young now. I don't live with anyone who's at risk, so I sort of said, fuck it.
Sure.
Another thing that might be a little more controversial is what do you think about the Fauci emails with regard to the letter that he tried to get circulated and get some signatures with Peter Daszak?
Which letter was this? I don't remember if I read this one or not.
The one where they said like you shouldn't. Fuck, I was so much better research this on last year, but you were absolutely cancer. No discussions on COVID mode.
Based.
Absolutely cringe. There was the letter where they said like, oh, you shouldn't say this is like anti-China or whatever. Like, don't be racist. Whatever letter. Like, this isn't a China problem. This is just a thing that happened, like a natural thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine why I wouldn't support that, given that Trump's rhetoric at the time was to call it the Chinese flu, the Wuhan flu.
Well, the reason is because like Peter Daszak and Fauci are sort of incredibly involved in this and have massive conflicts of interest. So they shouldn't be the ones. This is like I don't know, like Pepsi is being accused of doing something fucked up, and then Pepsi CEO gets a bunch of like signatures from scientists to say, hey, it's racist to actually look at Pepsi and say this is Pepsi's fault. This is just something that can happen to anybody, and then they write themselves off and aren't transparent about it.
We have to get into the weeds on this one. If you want, can you give me the actual letter and we can read the actual letter?
Yeah, can I do some research at some other points, send you an email?
No, just because what you're saying right now is different than what it sounded like you originally presented it as. And I think the push in the middle, or I'm sorry, the push in the beginning was that like, hey, like let's chill on like pretending like this virus comes from Asian people, and now you're saying they didn't even want you to ask questions about it coming from the Chinese government. Those are two way different claims. My understanding is that initially people were getting weird about like even going to Asian restaurants. So,
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I think that's stupid as fuck, right? But for what it's worth, right? So there's a whole nother argument here, which is something I want to get into with you as well, which you sort of don't believe in the lab leak at all, or you think
wait. Why did we just jump completely? I want to figure out the Fauci thing. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I could pull up the letter. I just would rather like pull up the letter at some other point. Like I can Google for it right now. Like I said, I was really well researched this a year ago, but it sort of gets boring to stay up with like year-old or 2-year-old news. So I can like Google it right now.
Okay.
If I'm going to be
well, I guess sure, that's fine. Okay. Well, I guess then just to reiterate my position on that, like, yeah, I don't think it was appropriate to call it the Chinese virus or the Chinese flu or whatever, because there were really weird sentiments in the United States about people treating Asian people differently as a result of those types of, I guess, those types of verbiages used to describe the virus. I don't know what possible conflict of interest Fauci can have there. Unless he's like secretly Chinese.
Well, Fauci wrote the grants for Peter Daszak, and so if it ends up being that like, if it ends up being the case,
even if Fauci himself literally owned the lab that manufactured the virus, that like was weapons grading, even if all of that was true, I would still agree with the statements that we shouldn't call it like the Chinese.
As I understood, what they said is like we shouldn't look into this as in a lab leak. Like this is just something natural that happened, which I think is a little bit going further than like just don't be racist, right? Which I agree unequivocally with don't be racist.
I would need to see how long is this letter? Can we not just like Google it and read it real quick?
Yeah, I mean I can look for it, but
Okay,
it's gonna be like
Fauci,
I'm just trying to be mindful of
Chinese,
like time on stream.
Oh fuck time, we got time. Fuck it, I'm not DnD in 3 hours. Any idea what I would search for to look for to find this letter?
Probably Peter Daszak, Fauci. I think there's a piece from what was it, dude? I was so well researched on this a year ago.
Fauci letter, Chinese, Peter Daszak. Fuck, what else? Oh, include EcoHealth. EcoHealth.
I think this was 2020. Someone in chat probably couldn't find it. The Lancelot letter, maybe? Find this on Wikipedia. Yeah, the Lancelot letter, also referred to as Kalisher here. I'll just send you the. Do you want me to DM you over Discord or drop it in chat?
Or drop it in chat, yeah. Lancet letter, COVID-19. Okay.
So, as I understand, if I'm wrong on this, I'll eat my words, but as I understand, it's like confirmed that Fauci and Daszak went back and forth in emails getting the signatures for this, which feels like a conflict of interest. And then not only that, but they obscured this conflict of interest. And I think there's literally correspondence in the emails where they say at some point, maybe we shouldn't appear in the emails to distance ourselves from this.
Okay, let me read this statement. We are public health scientists who have closely followed the emergence of 2019 novel coronavirus disease and are deeply concerned about its impact on global health and well-being. We have watched as the scientists, public health professionals, and medical professionals of China in particular have worked diligently and effectively to rapidly identify the pathogen behind this outbreak, put in place significant measures to reduce its impact, and share their results transparently with the global health community. This effort has been remarkable. We sign this statement in solidarity with all scientists and health professionals in China who continue to save lives and protect global health during the challenge of the COVID-19 outbreak. We are all in this together with our Chinese counterparts on the forefront against this new viral threat. The rapid, open, and transparent sharing of data on this outbreak is now being threatened by by rumors and misinformation around its origins. We stand together to strongly condemn conspiracy theories suggesting that COVID-19 does not have a natural origin. Scientists from multiple countries have published and analyzed genomes of the causative agent, severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, and they overwhelmingly conclude that the coronavirus originated in wildlife, as have many other emerging pathogens. This is further supported by a letter from the president of the U.S. National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, and by the scientific communities they represent. Conspiracy theories do nothing but create fear, rumors, and prejudice that jeopardize our global collaboration in the fight against this virus. We support the call from the Director General of WHO to promote scientific evidence and unity over misinformation and conjecture. We want you, the science and health professionals of China, to know we stand with you in the fight against this virus. We invite others to join us in supporting the scientists, public health professionals, and medical professionals of Wuhan and across China. Stand with our colleagues on the front line. Okay, what is
You can go down to the Wikipedia in alleged competing interests.
Okay.
So the authors of the letter declared no competing interest in their submission to the Lancet. According to emails,
according to the emails came by public record, it was requested by U.S. Right to Know November 2020. The letter was drafted and organized by the fifth listed author, Peter Daszak, whose organization EcoHealth Alliance has funded research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. According to the public record request, a further 6 signatories were affiliated with EcoHealth Alliance after Daszak was included in the Lancet Commission and WHO convened study the origins of the virus. Daszak's involvement with the letter was subject to increasing scrutiny, though both teams were disbanded in September of 2021. According to the December 2021 report from the Daily Telegraph, 26 out of 27 signatories were found to have links to WIV researchers, their colleagues, or funders. In a FOIA emailed from Daszak to Ralph Barrick, Daszak says he spoke to Lin Fe Wang and that they agreed that their hands should not be seen on it. Well, this seems kind of pointless because his name was literally on the letter, but speaking to the Science and Technology Select Committee in the UK Parliament, Editor-in-Chief of the Lancet Richard Horton said that it had taken them more than a year to persuade Daszak to amend the letter. Horton said that the lab leak was now a hypothesis that should be taken seriously and needs to be further investigated. The lead author, or first listed author, on the Lancet letter was Charles Kalischer, Professor Emeritus at Colorado State University. Question about the USRTK revelation by Le Monde and Undark, Kalischer confirmed that Daszak wrote the first draft and listed the authors by alphabetical order, making him the lead author, though he said he would not oppose signing the statement again. So I guess you're saying he should have been more clear that he has an organization.
Interest, right?
I don't know if it's a huge. I don't think I would say huge conflict of interest.
Wait, he's literally the guy who owns EcoHealth Alliance, which is the people who are being accused. This is literally like if Pepsi's CEO is being accused of like
imagine talking about
Pepsi, and he goes out and a bunch of
when you
scientists
could be playing him against VR with Lily Yee.
Sorry. How many different people have funded research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
This is literally the guy who's like being accused. He's the only person who's being accused of it.
Being accused of what?
Of being the guy who like did the research that could have led to COVID-19.
He's done all the research at this lab on coronaviruses?
No, I don't even know if he's a scientist. So EcoHealth Alliance.
Wait, so he doesn't even do research, or what do you mean he's the guy?
No, but he's the president of EcoHealth Alliance, which is the research organization which got the grant from the NIH, from Fauci, to do this research on the fern cleavage sites in Wuhan. Again, I would have been much better researched on all this last year. So I apologize if I'm mistaken about anything. So can you grant me, like, if everything I'm saying is correct, there is a conflict?
Yeah, but I don't like to, because the problem with the coronavirus stuff is 100% of the time I've done more, literally every single time I've done more research into anything related to coronavirus, I'll say conspiracy stuff broadly, it has always been misleading at best and completely and totally and utterly factually wrong at worst. So I can't grant you anything. If you want to, or if you want to source me, we can start digging through stuff if you want. Like, what is this guy actually accused of? What is the role? Because every single time I've dug more into it, it's
I mean, we can do the research
wrong.
on stream. I don't have any issue with doing the research on stream.
If you want to, yeah, we can start digging
I try to be
stuff.
mindful about like people's time and chat or whatever.
You have hold on.
People don't come prepared.
Stop. Hold on. Stop saying you're being mindful of people's time. I have all the time in the world. I'm talking to you right now. I have nothing else scheduled for the next 3.5 hours. I have nothing scheduled.
Perfect. Then let's do the research together. So as I understand it, Peter Daszak is the president of EcoHealth Alliance, which is the research organization that got grants for what people are saying was basically gain-of-function research in the Wuhan laboratory lab.
Okay. Is this the only gain-of-function research that was going on? And was this gain-of-function research related to SARS-CoV-2 or other coronaviruses?
Pause, because there's contention about whether this even is gain-of-function research in the first place. Aw, you pulled out the notepad. Oh my god. I'm flattered.
Okay, so let me just follow your claims here. So Dazik is the president of EcoHealth Alliance, right?
He's president or CEO. Like, let's just look this up because I'd rather not be wrong because it's going to be
That's fine.
embarrassing.
That's what I'm doing.
Get
Yeah,
shot.
chill. There's no rush. I don't know why you're so like go. Just chill. Okay. Okay. He's the president of EcoHealth Alliance, and your claim is that they received funding from the is it the
NIH,
NIH,
National Institute of Health,
it
from
says-
Fauci.
yeah.
It's signed by Fauci. Yeah.
What's signed by Fauci?
Like all the grants, I think get signed off by Fauci.
Okay.
It might just be like a paperwork thing where he just rubber stamps them.
Yeah, is
But,
that, does Fauci sign off on every single grant coming from the NIH as he's the head of the NIH, or is that relevant?
Yeah, that's probably pretty possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'd
they received
argue
funding.
that, I mean, he still should have a level of liability regardless, right?
Sure. So they received funding from the NIH. They do.
So what they're doing officially, no, this is the part we have to pause you. So
Okay.
this is the part where it gets into technicalities and it gets a lot more complicated. So basically what they were doing is they were taking this like bat poop and then getting stuff that's really similar to like SARS or COVID. I'm not a biologist by trade. I'm an economist. I have a bone to pick with a lot of your crypto takes, by the way.
Oh God.
So
Wait, I'm just
is,
curious. Throw one out there, just I'm so curious. Give me one bone to pick.
I think crypto has like a lot of good uses that are useful that people in like developed countries. I'm a lot more milquetoast than you probably think. So like cross-border payments is a huge thing that I think crypto is really good for, or
Gotcha.
inflation protection in like countries with shitty regimes. And I think you guys can't see them because you live in the U.S. and your system more or less works.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. So I keep. Okay,
I'm a sane person. Don't worry. I might have
s-
insane beliefs, but
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to finish.
So it's contentious whether this is gain of function research because gain of function research is, as I understand, again, not a biologist, is illegal to do at all. Do you know what gain of function research is roughly? Sorry.
My understanding is gain of function research is when you find ways to alter organisms in labs that might make them more transmissible, with the argument that you want to study what future evolutions of
Yeah,
disease could look
exactly.
like
And it's
ahead of.
understandably dangerous because you might create something really dangerous and it gets out, right? So there's sort of a big controversy around gain of function. And at one point, I don't know if it was Obama or who, but somebody just made it illegal to do gain of function research, right? And
Is that true? Is gain
like I
of
know that it's
function-
that's the reason they're doing it in China in a shitty lab. The Wuhan lab is like known, it's like a BSL level 3, I think, which isn't really good.
Let me check. This bill prohibits the award of federal research grants to institutions of higher education research that conduct gain of function research. This is in 2021, 2022.
I might be wrong. I don't know if there's an update on it or whatever. But point is, just
Well,
the
hold on,
relevant.
wait, stop. Okay, to sort through these theories, I need to know everything you're talking about, okay? I can't just have you say random shit and then move on to the next thing. We have all the time in the world, so let's just read, okay? Is that okay? If you make a claim, I just want to know, all right? This is how I research. You can't just say like 6 random things and say, let's just move on to the next thing, okay? So you said gain of function research is illegal. I'm curious if that's true, so let's just take like 5 minutes to figure out if that's true or not. Is that okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus. Fuck. Okay. Oh my God. Ban on gain-of-function studies ends. This is in 2018. The U.S. moratorium on gain-of-function experiments has been rescinded, but scientists are split over the benefits and risks of such studies. On December 19, 2017, the U.S. National Institute of Health announced that they would resume funding gain-of-function experiments involving influenza, Middle East respiratory syndrome coronaviruses, and severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. A moratorium had been in place since October of 2014. At the time, the NIH had stated that the moratorium will be effective until a robust and broad deliberative process is completed that results in the adoption of a new U.S. government. Okay, so it sounds like gain-of-function research There was a moratorium, which I guess like a temporary ban in 2014, and then that ban had been lifted in 2017, and then it sounds like it's been reinstated in 2021. That sounds about. The situation had its roots in 2011 when the NSABB suppressed 2 studies involving H5N1 viruses that had been modified to allow airborne transmission from ferret to ferret. They worried that malign actors could replicate the work to deliberately cause an outbreak in human beings. After much debate, the studies were published in full in 2012. HHS subsequently issued guidelines for funding decisions on experiments likely to result in highly pathogenic H5N1 viruses transmissible from mammals, mammal via respiratory droplets. The guidelines were later expanded to include H7N9 viruses. In 2014, several breaches of protocol at U.S. government laboratories brought matters to a head. The news that dozens of workers at the CDC might have been exposed to anthrax, the vials of smallpox virus have been left lying around the NIH storeroom, and the CDC unwittingly sent out samples of ordinary influenza virus contaminated with H5N1, shook faith in the country's biosafety procedures. Over 200 scientists signed the Cambridge Working Group's declaration arguing for cessation experiments creating potential pandemic pathogens until there's been a quantitative, objective, and objective. Okay. In a function experiment, we're just on a case-by-case basis. Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. Okay. I have a better understanding of this. Go ahead.
And so it's contentious because sort of the definition of gain-of-function research. So there's things that clearly are gain-of-function research, right? If I go out and I say, I'm making this virus more deadly to try to see what happens, that clearly is gain-of-function research. But then there's sort of gray areas where if I'm fiddling around with a virus, I might make it more dangerous or less dangerous. And if I touch things that might affect its infectivity, so it's sort of like a gray area, like, is this gain of function research if I mess around with a virus and see what happens? And so it's kind of an open debate, right? It's like a definition debate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you see what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that there can be gray area over what gain of function research is. Sure.
Yeah. And so as I understand it, EcoHealth Alliance is the only group that was doing sort of gain of function research with things that are very, very, very similar to COVID. And at this Wuhan lab, which is like 8 blocks away from the wet market.
Well, a couple things. So one, that what you're saying could be true, but I find that hard to believe. If the whole moratorium was lifted in 2017, nobody else started doing this research again? It was literally just this one?
I don't know. I know that at the Wuhan lab, which is where COVID has been traced to, like, these are the guys that sort of
wait.
saying,
the Wuhan lab, COVID was not traced to that lab. COVID was traced to the wet markets.
It's sort of contentious. It's up in the air.
What can you, when you say it was traced to the lab?
Sorry, I meant traced to Wuhan. My bad.
Well, it wasn't traced to Wuhan, though. It was traced very specifically to the wet markets. That's what that huge...
the wet markets are like 8 blocks away from this one
8
lab.
blocks is, number one, 8 blocks is a decently far way away.
Wait, when we're talking about a global scale pandemic, you're actually...
We're not talking about a global scale pandemic. We're talking about where did it originate.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying that, like, the people that did, I think it was...
I just think...
Published
I think
in
at a
Nature.
certain point, it's... Yeah, can I just say something? And you can call me conspiracy brain or whatever.
Okay.
But I think my point is, so there's Bayesian reasoning, right? And at a certain point, when there's... So I think I differ in this way from you, where you are sort of... you've talked about it a lot recently, where you're pro-status quo, and there's people that are, like, anti-establishment or whatever. And I guess the way I see it is that the government and sort of official bodies have more power, and that power means they need more responsibility, and that responsibility means they need to clear things up more than anybody else, right? So if there's something fishy going on with the government, I expect the government to put forth more information.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I don't know why you think we disagree
yeah,
there.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And so the way these emails, and then the fact that
Wait. Let's one thing at a time. Why do you guys always do this?
Well, the problem is that there is no smoking gun.
No. Okay. Hold on. I
Okay,
believe
do you
you're being
think that-
wait. Hold on. I believe you're trying to be honest. Right now I'm bored, okay, for whatever fucking reason. So I'll spend time reading and researching this. But when you want to really quickly jump from like hazy claim to hazy claim, it makes me think you're lying. And it makes me think you know you're lying.
I'm not trying to jump from hazy. Right now I'm trying to justify why I'm
I just want to focus on one thing at a time so that we have, because a lot of this shit like is confusing because nobody actually clearly establishes anything that's factually true or not. It's all just like a hazy cloud of like random fucking claims. So let's just like establish like one or two things at a time, right? So here's the first question I actually have. How far was Wuhan lab from wet market? Was it actually 8 blocks away? I'm curious. I'm not gonna try to like source you, but do you have something we can link that shows me like how far away it actually was?
I had a beautiful Reddit post with everything, and RTBA just dropped the hammer on me.
What an asshole.
Unfortunately. Yeah, we love him though. It's okay.
This isn't gonna tell me. Fuck. Was it in a I think a potholer video had it. Okay, this is saying the Institute is a 40-minute drive from the Hunan wet market. That sounds like more than 8 blocks.
From the Hunan or the Wuhan?
From the, well, I think the city is called Wuhan, and the Hunan wet market is the name of the wet market. So it seems like it wasn't 8 blocks away. It seems like it was a 40-minute drive. Now, whether we think that's substantial or not, I wish it would give me I don't know why it's saying 40 minutes. Or wait, actually, can we just fucking Google Maps it? And it's literally across the river too, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. Okay, Google Maps. Yeah, dox me, yes. Actually, hold on. Google Maps, directions. Wuhan Institute of Virology, and then Hunan Seafood Market. Okay, so by driving, it's...
Yeah, I'm seeing 21.7 miles driving now.
Well, I see that's kilometers, but as the crow flies, it's probably significantly less, but way more than 8 blocks.
Yeah, way more than 8 blocks. Give me a second.
Measure distance from here to...
Finding some weird stuff, and I don't want to be conspiracy brained.
That's fine. Okay, so it's more like 8 miles, not 8 blocks, but that's okay. All right, just...
I'm seeing something about 2 districts, and then something. I don't want to say things because I don't want to sound conspiracy brain. And then I'm seeing a post on Reddit that says Google Maps moved the Wuhan Institute of Virology 15 miles away from the wet market. I didn't know about this. I'm not coming with this.
Sure. Okay. Well, I mean, we can look at the satellite. Does it look like there's like an institute? Maybe we can find the other one. That it got moved from, but...
Thank you this post. I mean, the other one's also 6.6 miles, 8.6 miles.
All right, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So we just... Okay.
Way more than 8 blocks.
So
I can see it.
So there's one big study that everybody talks about. This was the one that kind of sold me on the wet market thing. Because prior to this, my position was kind of like, might have come from a lab, might not. I don't know if we'll ever know because China will... probably obfuscate as much as they can because they don't want the responsibility for that. But the study that convinced me was, are you familiar? Oh, no, fuck, what was it? I think there's 3, but there's one big one that people point out where they do like a genomic analysis of like different parts of the wet market and different people involved. Are you familiar with this? Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
Just give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find my Reddit post.
Gotcha. I want to say that for this, there was a really in-depth study where they like gene sequenced a whole bunch of fucking like animals and people that got sick. And I think they were able to sequence to like literally two like fucking 10 by 10 meters or whatever of this wet market where they believe it came from. And I think these are the most compelling studies that came out that I think most people are like, okay, this is probably now. And I haven't heard a rebuttal to these yet. Not to say that there can't be one, but this year's studies, was it these two? Molecular epidemiology of multiple zoonotic origins of SARS-CoV-2. I think, did they point to 2 different crossover events in this study? Fuck, it's been a while since I've read this. I know this is like heavy reading too, so I don't...
It's heavy reading, and I'm not like a subject matter expert. What I've basically seen a lot of people point to is that there's no smoking gun, but that sort of Bayesian theory would indicate that if officials are shifting the story, if this happened to happen in a city that is researching this type of stuff, if Fauci goes out and puts out this kind of sketchy letter and whatnot.
Well, we're saying kind of sketchy letter, but...
Well, I think it's like pretty sketchy for him to say like, oh, I don't want to be tied to this letter because it looks bad. That's like admission of guilt.
Wait, is that an admission of guilt?
Declare no competing interests? He literally just lied by saying we declare no competing interests.
Here's what I don't understand, okay? If you want to Bayesian this for me, okay? If they're going out of their way to lie because they want to obfuscate or hide the competing interests, then why would they put their names on it when we can all see what companies they work for? Doesn't that seem kind of dumb?
I mean, you're the one who says that the elites aren't so smart and they fuck up a lot. So
okay, hold on, stop.
Which one is it?
They can't be super crafty and like sneaky
and slimy. That's what I'm saying for you. But that's what I'm saying for you.
Well, no, but in my mind, what it seems like is that they probably didn't consider it to be like a competing interest.
In what world? Okay, that seems...
I have to assume...
You have to be otherworldly stupid to be... You are being accused of being the person who funded and, so in the case of Fauci, and directed, in the case of Peter Daszak, this research, and you are declaring no competing interest when you say this is not a lab leak theory. That seems otherworldly levels.
Yeah, but what's more stupid, that or the idea that you actually have a massive...
100% that.
Okay,
100%.
But having a massive conflict of interest and then publicly putting your name on the letter, that's not that stupid.
Well, so I think the way I'd sort of say this is that at a certain point when you've done really... So let's step into the world where this did happen, right? And they go, oh, fuck, we fucked up. If something like that happens, things get pretty dark for all the people involved pretty quick. And so at a certain point, I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to consider like, oh, I might get fucked if I write this letter, right? It's like, who gives a shit? Like if they find out, I'm way more fucked.
Okay, here, let's ask a couple of questions. So here's my first question. How was Fauci involved in this letter at all?
I could be incorrect. Dude, I hate that I've done all my research on this so long ago.
We still have 3
hours. No,
I
sound like an idiot
minutes.
right now.
No,
like
that's fine. Don't worry.
And I sound like a conspiracy artist.
You're good.
A conspiracy theorist.
Also, real quick, volunteerist girl, say your final message in chat. You're about to take a permanent vacation. Let me say goodbye, say hello, whatever you want to. Your final shout out to everybody in chat.
Here's my look. I'm just gonna link my old Reddit post and we can go through it together.
Sure.
I think is probably the best way. It's been a long time since I've been on here. Just skip all the first part. I'm guessing you can see it because
I can see everything. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, volunteers.
Mom.
Okay. 07 boys. What do you want me to start reading?
Beyond all the edits in '07, probably.
Okay.
Like the actual content.
Here's the article I wanted him to read. The virus hunting nonprofit at the center of the lab leak controversy. Oh, jeez. Give me a minute. Wait, hold on. Go grab a quick coffee, okay? You guys can listen to beautiful music. What, do you remember the month the pandemic started?
I think it depends.
Was it like November, like 2020? I'm just curious.
think it
Was it
later
March
than
2020? November, December of 2019?
that. So the first outbreak is November 2019, and then I think like in March is when like lockdown started.
Okay, December, November 2019. Gotcha. Okay.
get you Destiny X9X girls or anything. It's a waste of time. Destiny X9X.
Okay. I read about half of this. I don't know if I need to read the rest of this. Let's go back to your post. Okay. This article, how fact checkers are burying the lab leak theory. Okay. Okay, if you don't have time, I'm not asking for debate, I'm not as foreign efficient. I sent Destiny 2/3 emails about this. I after posted here. Okay. Okay, so I think I agree completely with your post, but your post has nothing to do with whether the lab leak theory or the the natural origin is correct. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm trying to think of who had written this. It might have been a BuzzFeed article, or it might have been an essay by Scott Alexander. I think that there were issues around trying to bury the lab leak story. There was a really good long form article.
Yeah, I think
about
there was a Slate Star Codex or Astro Codex 10, which I was looking for, but I wasn't able to find it. He might have deleted it.
Fuck. Does anybody know? Anybody know which Fuck, does anybody know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna be able to find this. Fuck. I remember reading this a while ago, but it was a good article. I think that there is an issue with I think there is an issue where there might be a contentious scientific topic, and people in government or even a scientific community is so desperate to have a unified front on it that they end up stifling some of the conversation around it, or they present themselves as more unified than they actually are. So for instance, they might say that, like, yeah, this is something we all agree on, even if privately there might be some disagreements on it. I do think that's probably a problem, although I am empathetic towards why they do it. We've seen, for instance, with preprint culture, that having an open and honest discourse around some things doesn't actually benefit the conversation at all. Nothing around hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, the two big fake drugs for COVID-19. None of the open conversation around that was beneficial to anybody. Everybody that believed in that shit still believes in it to this day.
Yeah, but I'd say that's because of their shitty messaging, right?
Well, no, but like on those...
People...
Well, I mean, you can say that, but like the reality is
I mean, you can take two views to public health messaging, right? You can take one where it's monolithic, and we'll sort of tell you what's right and what's not right. Mm-hmm. And then you can take another where you have an open conversation or you allow some form of debate. And I think clearly public health messaging has slid much more towards the former. And I think that's a massive mistake. I think you're trading on the goodwill of people and the trust of people. And if, God forbid, there's another pandemic, and instead of having 2% or 1% mortality, it has something like 20% or 10%. There's a lot of people that, because of the way public health institutions decided to message and decided to handle this, a lot of people have lost trust.
Yeah, I mean, like that is the case, and we can look at it that way if we want, but people never want to acknowledge the other side too, which is having open and honest discourse gives a lot of very cancerous actors and bad faith actors the ability to insert themselves into the conversation and hijack narratives that might have like dramatic and direct impacts on public health.
Yeah, that's true. I agree 100%. I just think on one side you have this long tail, very dangerous situation where if the conspiracy theorists are correct, which has happened a few times in the past, Watergate was a conspiracy, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a conspiracy theory until it's true. And obviously the vast majority of conspiracy theories aren't true.
Hold on, wait. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm just saying you have to acknowledge the other side as well, because the problem is that people will say that bureaucrats are trying to falsely present this unified front when they don't have it because of rigged, corrupt, bureaucratic, double interest, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. That's what people
I
say.
don't even think the problem is presenting a unified front. I think the problem is silencing speech, right? So saying things like, if you believe in the lab leak theory, you're a racist.
Sure.
I think there's a difference. I don't mind if like 50 dipshit scientists all say, fine, we're all going to lie to the public because we think we know better. That's their prerogative, right? I mean, they can lie or not lie.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, right? But the problem is you are presenting one side of the story way too harshly, right? There were a lot of people that were engaged in some insane levels of like weird racism early on when it came to the coronavirus shit. There were a lot of people that were taking advantage of like preprint culture and the open and honest conversation we had to spread a ton of bad information. Like there are more people dead 100% as a result of that. There are more bodies in the ground.
Have you really been on this thing where you say like democracy basically says that,
I don't know why you're contradicting me like I disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But I'm saying you have to understand.
You're doing the thing that you hate where people don't concede.
I don't have to concede to you because I already agree with you. I'm having this conversation with you because I agree with you that these conversations should happen. But I don't accuse the other side that's trying to stop these conversations of doing it because there's like double interest, because they're just trying to make money, and silence because they're corrupt or blah 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 blah. I can see the argument on both sides.
I don't. That's not mine. I don't agree.
Okay, that's fine. They might not be, but that's 99% of people that make that claim do say that. They do believe that. The reason why the special interests are trying to cover it all up is because of corruption. Right?
A lot of them do, not 99%. I think there's a lot of people
I'm sorry. Let me be
that
more
are quiet
realistic.
because they don't want to be associated with those people.
85+%. If you don't acknowledge that, you're absolutely functioning in bad faith. If I go and I watch,
it's impossible to know because okay, this is like saying, this is like me saying, I'm struggling to find an example, but you can never know this because it's a false negative, right? You don't know who these people are because they're hiding. I know a ton of people with corporate jobs that believe in the lab leak theory or didn't get vaxxed or whatever.
I'm looking at the main actors that are spreading these types of like pieces of information.
What do you mean when you say the main actors?
So people like Alex Jones, people like fucking like Rand
for
Paul,
every Alex
people
Jones,
like
there's 5 nerd scientists who did a lot of research, right? Open source research that no one will ever find out about because they're not these bombastic guys. But you need to signal voice the good faith actors. You need to signal boost.
Sure, you can do that.
Instead of New York Times,
okay, just
signal boosting Alex Jones and
this
saying,
is your moment to preach. Go ahead.
No, I mean I can listen to you, but my point is like this is a function of the way you like, not you guys. Sorry, that's completely incorrect. But like this is a function of the way that public health discourse has gone.
You're about to go ahead and restate the thing that I already agree with and pretend like you're making a novel point. Do that thing.
No,
again.
but you're saying 95% of the people that do this are insane. And I'm saying 95% of the visible people that say this are insane. And that is a function of the way you're choosing to handle this discourse. So if you choose to not handle this discourse this way and commit to open discourse all the time and commit to, instead of signal boosting people like Alex Jones, just ignore him.
How can you just ignore him when people are making public health decisions based on like stuff coming out of these parts of society though?
I mean, I think that at a certain point you have to accept that a certain percentage of people are going to believe insane shit, and that's up to them to believe what they want.
But the problem is at some point like you can't accept that, right? That's the challenge. Like let's say the coronavirus had a fatality rate of like 4 or 5%. At that point, you probably start throwing people in jail for saying some of this shit, right? Like if you're on the border of like society collapsing because so many people are dying, right?
I think
it wasn't with the coronavirus; it didn't get to that level. But I'm just saying that I can understand the struggle of both.
That's a difficult conversation. It depends on a lot of things because when you just say 4 or 5%, that's also difficult because what happened with COVID is also that percentage number is inflated compared to things like quality adjusted life years because the majority of people who are dying are people who are old and people who have comorbidities for better or worse, which means that when like a healthy 20-year-old dying is not as bad.
That's not all the. I don't know why now you're hyper into the weeds on what I mean when I say 5%. I can make it 20% if that makes it easier for you to understand.
Well, I think it makes a difference. Wait, you're literally saying that at 1% things aren't justified, that at 5% are, and I'm saying, well, I don't know if I take a percentage.
If I say 50%, is that better for you?
Yes, of course. If it
Okay,
takes 50%,
the point of what I was saying is to get out of debate mode, okay? Because we agree, I think, on most of this. I don't know why you're like so viciously fighting against every single fucking point that I'm making,
like
right?
I got banned like 4 times, dude. I don't know.
What? Well, okay, what I'm saying is that there's some level of public health danger where, like, you probably don't allow dissenting opinion, right?
Yeah.
That if there was a virus that was killing, I'm sorry for saying 5%, I know that triggered you. If a virus is killing 50% of people, then at that point, you're
Yes,
probably like,
50% of people
yeah.
lock everybody down, go
yeah,
full.
you probably do something, and it's like, if you don't believe this, you're ejected from the country, right? The challenge is probably finding out like what the middle ground is there. That's the challenge, right? And I think that's a
Yeah,
I think
course.
that's a challenge that has to be, that I can empathize with both sides of.
Yeah, I can empathize with both sides as well. There. Yes, of course, 100%.
Okay.
I just don't think that 1% of people, and that 1% of people being old people with comorbidities, gets anywhere near close to that point.
I don't know, when you say nowhere near close, wasn't it like, was it 2 million people? How many people died in the United States from the coronavirus? Or is it 1.1
I
million?
think it's like around 1%, something, a little bit less maybe.
No way, it was at 1%. That sounds too high. Or was it? COVID-19
I think the issue is like, if you adjust by quality, it's like it goes down an insane amount. And the issue is like, there's no point in using like a mortality rate, because if like the vast majority of 20-year-olds are okay, and the vast majority of people who are dying are like 80 and like on their deathbed.
I don't think they were just 80 and on their deathbed. But
I mean, if you look at the mortality numbers, like there's clearly a huge spike around people who have comorbidities.
yeah, but people that are in their 60s and
are old.
70s aren't on their deathbed, right? There's a lot of
Obviously, I'm being a little hyperbolic.
people. Okay, fine, but when I said 5%, you all of a sudden wanted to
Yeah,
start
you said
debating.
5, so you can hold me to account, and I'll hold you to account.
Okay, I'm glad.
That's the way it works. Wait, you're doing the same thing.
Sure, I'm just saying that I don't find it very compelling when people are like, "Oh, well, it's only old and fat people that are dying," when probably the majority of our population in the United States is old and fat, right?
I mean, yeah, that gets into a bunch of other shit. Yeah, obviously.
Okay, what else? Okay, so then I agree with you insofar as the conversation was. I think that some of the messaging around the lab leak stuff was probably too aggressive. I think most people agree with that at this point, or at least most intelligent people. I'm referencing that essay. It seems like you've read it as well, that the messaging was probably too aggressive initially. I sympathize with why they do the messaging the way they do, though. It's a challenging position to be in. But I don't think, and I think you said it yourself, but you agree with me, but I don't think, you haven't given me like a smoking gun for lab leak theory. There's still basically no evidence for that.
A smoking gun. It's been 2 years. It's not like the United States can just walk into China, right? The Senate and whatever was Democrats, and they, because this became a partisan issue, didn't want to sort of dive into this, right? Because one side was like, oh, I want to take Fauci's cock and balls all the way down my throat, and the other side was like, Fauci's literally the incarnation of Satan. So things got gridlocked and we didn't get anywhere for 2 years, and now it's 2 years. Like, I mean, in 2 years I can probably hide all the evidence, right?
Maybe I don't know, but okay. Well, I mean, I think we agree then. So
We agree on what?
there is no smoking gun or no evidence for the lab leak theory.
Yeah, but I think the issue is so from an epistemic status, I don't think the government, when you're accusing the government of doing fuck shit, I don't think you need a smoking gun. I think like when you get to the point where it's like enough fucked conflict of interest, enough like, you know, you get to a point where you're making like, oh wow, isn't this kind of a coincidence? Oh wow, isn't this kind of coincidence? And like people can call me conspiracy brain or whatever, but I think the government has an obligation to, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, and the government has an obligation to be clear. And I think the government is acting in a way that only makes sense, right? Sort of Daszak is acting in a way that seems really, really rational, right? If I'm Daszak and I know I didn't do anything fucked, the first thing I do is go, hey, by the way, we were studying this. You can come check out our lab. We're pretty sure it came from the web market. We'd love to have everyone
yeah, but like,
come down.
couldn't we very easily conceive of like other motivations for people acting this way rather than they're hiding like obvious wrongdoings?
Yes, obviously. But
So I don't know if I would say that like there's a
I don't think that 100%. If this is what you're asking, I don't think it's 100% of the lab leak. I think I would argue that whatever percentage you're at probably needs to be much higher.
What is
I'd
what
say
is your
I'm like
in your what?
I'd say I'm like 60-40 in favor of the lab leak.
Okay, I think I'm like 595 because I don't think there's been any evidence at all. Not even like nothing has been presented in favor of lab leak other than it's possible. Whereas it seems like there's been quite a bit of research into the wet market stuff. Plenty of crossover events have happened at wet markets in the past. It seems like it's not unreasonable to think it happened again. There's been a couple studies profiling shit down there that I haven't seen any refudiations of yet. I don't know how you can be 60-40 in favor of a theory with zero scientific evidence or studies behind it when there are studies on the other side. But I guess if that Peter Daszak guy... What?
Can I do some research and get back to you?
If you want to, sure.
Yeah. Can you also concede that it was probably a little fucked up of you to like be banning people for even mentioning COVID or whatever for 2 years? That you probably should have shifted on that a little bit quicker too?
No. Like I said, and it's honest to God, it's even happened in this conversation. Almost every single claim made by a coronavirus person.
Yeah, but I literally asked at the start of the conversation. You have to concede at least that 2 minutes in the conversation when I realized we were going to get into the weeds. I said, "Hey, can I do some research on this?" And we check it out some other time.
Sure, that's fine. But I'm just saying that typically when it
but
comes to this
I'm just
conversation,
saying I didn't want to do this. I knew this was going to happen.
I understand. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. But no, I did a lot of coronavirus and vaccine debates, and almost every single time, I didn't ban all the conversation, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't know all the shit that I do now about fucking vaccines and mRNA technology and all that shit. I had a lot of the conversations, but at some point, yeah, when I see the same shit over and over and over and over again, I just start banning it because nobody has anything new to say. It's all just random conspiratorial bullshit.
Yeah, and as much as, I can empathize with that, I hope you can empathize with that. I'm a person with a job and I study and whatever, so I don't have time to stay on top of this for 2 years.
Yeah, that's fine. It would be nice if you had a single piece of evidence, but I'm sure you'll...
Well, it's I've been in your chat and there's times when I've had evidence, even in the past week, I've been in your chat asking oh, are you here? Are you willing to have a conversation? 2 years ago, I got banned 3 times for making an effort post in your thing.
Well, what is the...
I think I really got banned at one point for arguing in favor of segmented lockdowns.
Well, what is it doesn't sound like you got banned for that. It sounds like you got banned for ban evading from all the other weird COVID shit. But the question is...
No, the first time was segmented lockdowns.
Okay. The question is though, but you said you've had evidence, you haven't. You have no evidence, right?
Well, I had it 2 years ago. I have to go find Reddit posts. I'm not terminally online.
Okay, but if you've been making effort Reddit posts, you can't... I'm not asking you. You don't have to necessarily set a specific piece, but can you even think of here's a piece of evidence that I remember about, but I don't know specifically. If you've made Reddit posts, I don't know how you can't remember.
Yeah, I've made Reddit posts, but the issue is they're naturally... So my side is never going to be able to find the fact that this happens in China, this happened 2 years ago. You're looking for something where you're never really going to be 100%. The evidence can be quote unquote in one direction.
Stop doing this false dichotomy. Why are you doing this? I'm not asking you for...
Because you're asking me for evidence.
No. Hold on, chill. I'm not asking you for 100%. You keep doing this false thing where it makes it seem like my request is horrendously unreasonable. I'm not asking
because what's going to happen is I'm going to bring up something that I vaguely remember. There's a decent chance that I will vaguely remember something that is a little bit wrong in one way or another, right? There is a decent chance that I won't remember everything. I'll have to fumble for it. So from an optics perspective, I'm going to look like a total conspiracy theorist. I'd much rather do research, get back to you in a week and be hey, you were completely right. I totally concede and I'd like to...
okay, it's just... so this is how it works in my brain, okay? And you can test me on this. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe there are things I would have to concede on this. But if somebody said, what do you feel is the likelihood of this thing happening? I'd say 60-40 in favor of it. And then somebody's can you think of any evidence?
That's based off vibes of things I remember from 2 years ago, right? So do you remember every argument that you've had in the past? So there are probably positions that you hold that you would have to get refreshed on the literature. And unlike you, I don't have
and I might not remember the
online
exact...
and do research, which is...
Okay, gotcha.
Cool.
Okay, so 60-40 zero evidence. I gotcha. Okay.
But I offered 5 minutes of this call to be hey, can we get back to this? You can do research right now on stream if you're bored and it's interesting to you.
Okay.
It feels kind of bullshit because I was willing to talk about this 2 years ago and you kind of weren't. So I feel
you literally
you could
asked
at the very
hold
least
on,
give me the courtesy.
Wait. I'm not ambushing you. You asked in chat right when I started stream if you could come on and do this, and you've made several Reddit posts. So I was okay,
for the past 2 years.
Okay, but I let you on, and now you're making it sound like I ambushed you on this. You specifically asked to come on and specifically talk about this.
I'm not trying to do that. That's not true, Destiny. That's not what's happening here. What I'm saying is, hey, look, I might be completely wrong. Like, I'm actually coming from a super moderated point of view. I'm saying, look, I might be wrong on this. I'd love to do some research and get back to you.
Okay, I don't know why you would ask to come on so that I could bring you on, and then you could go, well, I need to
if I don't ask
to
to come on, what's going to happen? I do my research every week to stay updated on this while I have my real life, while I study.
Is there new research coming out on this? I thought you said all of it was like 2 years old anyway.
I don't know how to explain to you that I don't have the time to keep this in. Like, this is like a test. Like, have you ever, you know those tests you took in like high school and you forgot everything in like 2 weeks?
No, I remember all of it.
Okay, dude.
This is 4 months ago. Your Reddit post was 4 months ago and you were still keeping up with this. But okay, listen, if you find
Wait, you've never done that where you had like a test in high school or a test in college and you forget everything after literally 2 weeks?
No, but that's not how I learned. But I understand what you're saying. And it's not, I know what you mean.
Okay.
But like I also, there were no tests that I passionately spoke about for months later that I forgot all the material on either. So, but.
I think that was more because I was pissed at you or RTBA or whoever for banning me.
Okay.
It's more out of spite than anything else.
Gotcha.
All right, buddy. I appreciate that you've opened some discussions up on this. I really think you should rethink that the 90% of crypto is scams, but there's like some pretty good stuff that does good things for people that are probably like underprivileged.
I mean, it's probably like not. How many underprivileged people have access to and the technological savvy to utilize
Literally
crypto?
so much. Everywhere in Africa and in like underbanked countries, crypto is huge. For example, like in Argentina, I think like vast majority of there's more people that buy like crypto dollars because you can't literally buy like you can't buy actual dollars.
Okay. Anything else, buddy?
Nope. Thanks for having the call. Do you want me to email you and get ignored? Should I come and chat? What should I do?
Just come and chat and say you're a pussy bitch who ignores debate requests, and I'll probably drag you on, yeah.
Okay, buddy. Take care. I love you anyways.
Okay, be careful, buddy. Jesus. This is the best evidence of lab leak.
On that. But more important than any of that, the one crucial thing that Peter Daszak didn't reveal, and that we didn't find out until September 2021, was that he had put in an application to the Pentagon, to the DARPA, the research arm of the Pentagon, in 2018, in collaboration with the Wuhan Institute of Virology, among others, to do experiments on SARS-like viruses that they found in bats. And those experiments were to include, if they found ones that weren't very similar to SARS-1, that were new, were to include putting a furin cleavage site into such a virus. Now, that is a major discovery. And as I say, we found that out from a leaked document. It's called the Project Defuse. It came to light in September 2021 because someone in DARPA, I think, leaked it to people who were investigating this. And Peter Daszak hadn't bothered to tell us that he was the lead investigator on exactly this proposal. Now, you know, for me as a citizen of the planet Earth, that's pretty annoying. As a scientist and a writer about science, it's even more annoying because, you know, we all want to know what happened here. You know, I don't go into this wanting it to be a lab leak. I just want to know the truth. And it seems absolutely vital to get us as much information as we can. Now, some of that information is in China and they're not being very forthcoming, but information that is in America ought to be volunteered in this case. The other thing, but the thing that the Chinese have failed to do is tell us what's in their database. They had a database with 22,000 entries in it at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which was wildlife pathogens. It was bacteria and...
Okay. Nice. Jesus.
Oh no. Jesus.
You all right?
No, I'm having a bit of a nightmare, actually.
What's the matter?
Well, I've had all the international CEOs from around the world in this room. In 10 minutes, the annual summit's supposed to take place. They've flown thousands of miles to get here, and my translator hasn't turned up. I need to find someone who can translate into 7 different languages.
Well, I can do that. Yeah, I did a TEFL in my gap year.
Welcome back to London, ladies and gentlemen. This is Helen Marsh, who'll be our interpreter today. So, without further ado, let's address section 1.1, multinational profiteering for the financial year 2005-2006. Helen.
The joke at the end is that they're all going to understand? Is that where we're going with this?
Hurdy-gurdy-gurdy. Hurdy-gurdy-gurdy-gurdy.
Oh, fuck. This is copyrighted. Okay, I gotta watch the end of this. I need to see if I was right. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Hold on. Wait, it cuts off at the last translation. It doesn't even... It doesn't show me how the joke ends. Fuck. The Justice Department is asking a judge to hold Donald Trump in contempt of court for failing to comply with a subpoena to return all classified records. Damn. That's gonna be a big damn to me. I'm not saying I disagree with what you did in Georgia, but could canvassing for local election states that aren't yours be a net bad for that community? Yeah, I don't think I would ever do it for like local elections. I've thought about it in the past, but like bringing in foreign canvassers for like to do like state assembly stuff or like local races, it probably would look bad. But for federal elections, it's like standard practice. Like I want to say for Georgia last runoff, I think there was over $1 billion spent in that state from like everybody around the country trying to move that election like one way or another.
Racism against majority people because they don't really have this.
Stop. So when Jordan B. Peters
rat is this. The rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while.
Nice space, true. Oh, Jesus. Prudence.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm there?
Yeah, why the fuck do you think I said your name?
Oh shit, so I can just talk about anything?
Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of what we do here, huh?
Okay, yeah. Shit, so, this is kind of off topic, but I actually wanted to ask you, do you in the future tend to like do more like videos on like media and shit, like movies and stuff? Because every time you like talk about like media, like you'll like start to talk about it, and I think it's like really really interesting. But you usually cut more back to like your political stuff.
Yeah,
like every time you talk about it.
I don't think the people are ready for that yet. You know.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't know. That's true, but I still think it's like really really fucking interesting. Like
that's
anytime you
my
anytime
takes
you
on
talk about
media are just objectively correct, but all the Dune kids are still, you know. Really...
Nah, fuck Dune. That's fucking stupid. But like when you talk about like Metal Gear 2, you did it like years ago, and I was like, fuck, this guy might be onto something. You're talking about Metal Gear 2.
Okay.
You're like, yeah.
Firstly, can we just? You mean Metal Gear Solid 2? Okay.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big diff, but.
Yeah, it is. It is true.
Okay.
You were like, oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 did something really interesting as far as like the self-insert player and like the themes of it, and then you like come back to other shit, and I was like, fuck, I hope he does something on that, but you just never followed up on it. It's like,
I
damn.
played the whole game. What more do you want from me? Okay.
Oh, I guess I didn't catch those streams. I don't know. I'm more listening to like I prefer like just like I don't know, like you just talking about it rather than gameplay of it. I just thought it was really interesting. Would you ever do like debates on media? I know that'd be really dumb, kind of a waste of time. I'm just curious.
I've been doing that with like the Dune shit.
Yeah, but Dune's fucking dumb, and like people.
I did that with like Game of Thrones and everything too, right?
Yeah, but these are literally like the easiest fucking knockdowns. Game of Thrones is trash. Anyone who doesn't think so is fucking coping. The only people that like Dune are people that think Dune makes them like liking Dune makes them smart.
True,
it's fucking trash.
True.
Like I've read the books. The books are alright. The movie sucks. It's kind of pretty, but it's long for no reason, and the story's fucking over. Like, who cares?
Yeah, good question.
I think, like, I don't know. I just think there's so many other fucking like interesting conversations. Like, anytime you talk about, like, I think there's so much fucking like. I remember you talked about Cowboy Bebop forever ago, and I was like, fuck,
what
like,
a cool movie or TV show.
Anime. Like, do you like any other anime or movies? I'm always interested in your media takes.
Listen, I don't have time for anime or movies.
You don't like any movies?
Well, I like them. I just usually don't tend to watch them. You know what? I saw a movie recently called The Menu. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Menu's pretty alright.
Yeah,
do you have any other favorite movies or something?
Did you see the Top Gun Maverick movie?
Yeah, I did.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the first one. Sure. Can I? You want to ask you? Have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, of course.
Pretty fucking great.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. No, I just want to ask you about, like, movies and shit. Is there any other movie takes that would be interesting? Give me something crazy.
Jesus. Well, I can't think of any right now. I don't know. What's a movie take you want? Ask me. I'll give you.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna ask you this one because I feel like it'd be real fucking cringe.
Well, now you got to. You can't just say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I started following you like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was during like the N-word arc.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into that. But I remember you started talking to Mahler, and you had mentioned you were like, oh shit, like the prequels are worse than the sequels, and anyone who doesn't think so is fucking coping.
The prequels are so bad. Yeah. Oh god, are they prequels, Stan?
Okay, no, the prequels fucking suck dick. They're not good.
Oh, okay.
Like they're but I'd say the prequels are like a 3. The sequels are a fucking 2 to 1. They're pretty fucking horrible. It's like shit to ass. The prequels are better, but they're not good. Anyone who says the prequels are good, they're fucking lying to you. But
I just didn't hate the sequels that much. There just wasn't enough there for me to hate them. Like
I can kind of understand.
It was just like I would watch like the sequels, like, oh, like mindless, like pretty looking kind of action, I guess. Like that's it. They weren't too ambitious. They just like did. It's like whatever. There were like
there
some
isn't
cringe
any
moments,
acting or anything like that.
Yeah,
that's fair. I hate the sequels, but like I can understand that. Like there's a lot of cool shit in them. Like I think there's a lot of interesting ideas. I just think they're I think the prequels are okay ideas, shit execution, horrible execution. I think the sequels are like not great ideas, alright execution. Like I just think the ideas were shit, but the execution is like pretty.
For the
like,
prequels?
at least, like, for the sequels.
Oh, for
I think the sequels are at least pretty.
Yeah, they
prequels are like
pretty, yeah.
Like the prequels have an idea, but like horrible acting, horrible directing. Like there's cool fights, but like yeah, no.
What are you gonna do, man?
I don't know. I just want to pick your brain on movies and shit. I'm a movie frog, so I don't know.
Oh, movie frog. Well, I don't know. Damn, what other movies are there?
I don't know. I won't waste any more of your time. I just thought it would be interesting. Thanks for having me in, though.
Okay. Well, hey, I love you, buddy. Be careful, okay?
Yeah, you too. Stay safe.
Bye. See, now that's a respectable caller, okay? Why can't more of you guys be like that, dude? That was a tier 1, too. We're gonna grab more tier 1s, okay? Dragon.
Oh, hey, Destiny.
Yo, what up?
I was just, I figured I'd have a more casual conversation with you. I got sick on our epic DGG canvassing super spreader event and everything.
Oh, shit. Dude, I hope it wasn't all for me.
You said you took a rapid test. I have COVID test and I have positive.
Wait, you have COVID?
Yeah.
Bruh, what are you doing? You're killing my people.
Yeah, I think I got it from someone there because I think a couple of people were asking about it. I know there's tests going around in the Discord. They were like, "Oh yeah, I'm negative for it," or "I'm
Damn, you motherfuckers are killing yourselves. Base. Okay.
We did it to save democracy.
True.
So. But I was just wondering, what's your typical like when you're sick? What do you do? What do you do when you're sick?
I'm the worst person to ask. Okay, here's what you should do.
I'm not asking for advice.
Oh, what do I do? I usually just sit and suffer because I have some weird thing against medication because I'm literally fucking retarded. It's some toxic masculinity bullshit or whatever. I just don't like taking medicine. But you should find the medication that alleviates your symptoms the most, and then that helps you get like better sleep, drink water, like don't like move a lot, like just like chill and recover. Yeah.
Well, I think I passed it to my brother because I transported him on, I think, Tuesday, which is that, I think around like 11 p.m. or 8 or something. Late that night, I started feeling everything. And he's feeling fine this morning. He was feeling it pretty bad last night. And I just think I feel everything worse. Cause I might have a compromised immune system from stuff in high school. But
maybe. I don't know how that works because, like,
I don't know either.
Technically, like, when you say compromised immune system, like, I don't know if that's the case. Like, a stronger immune system might make you feel worse because a lot of the symptoms that you're getting are your immune system fighting back.
Yeah, it's acting up.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is because I know my mom is always she's always super scared for me. I had cancer in high school.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Yeah, I went through chemotherapy, and she was always talking about how stuff would hit me way harder, and I always thought that it wasn't true, just because like I feel like that would have to be like an active thing going on. So
what kind of cancer did you have?
Oh, I had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's?
Oh, what's the one that's curable?
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
It's non-Hodgkin's. Okay. Yeah,
that's when my kid's mom had that when she was like 23 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was diagnosed when I was 17. It was like a pretty chance thing. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, hey, it's getting better. I had fun at the canvassing event. We knocked a lot of doors. So.
That's good. Might be the last event you ever do, so I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, anything else?
No, I think that's it. I was just curious about like what you did for sick stuff.
Yeah, you should like do medicine and all that.
Yeah, I've been drinking like Soylent because it's got like vitamins and stuff in it. I've been taking a lot of vitamin stuff, a lot of calories in, hydration.
Gotcha. Get medication, okay? I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I have.
I don't think that like because people say like vitamin C super. I don't think any of that shit actually helps you at all. Just like find some shit that alleviates your symptoms and you'll feel a lot better for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to. My mom told me about. I heard about the COVID pill in passing, like I think like a few months ago.
Oh, for COVID, yeah. Wait, yeah. Whatever happened to that shit?
It's Paxlovid. I think it's more public now. I don't know.
Isn't that only effective if you take it like right at the outset?
I'm not entirely sure. I know my mom was talking about it, and she's like a pharmacist, so she was talking about how effective it was in a lot of COVID
I think it actually was. I think it actually showed like in good studies it showed that it actually reduces the total amount of time spent sick, but I think you need to take it like right in the beginning. I think
that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
well, people are saying no, so I could be wrong. I don't know, go research that. But... well, wait, if your mom's a fucking pharmacist, why the fuck are you asking me for drug information?
Oh no, I'm not asking you for drug information. I was just genuinely
you just
curious.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't do anything. I suffer in silence like a fucking moron, an actual degenerate fucking idiot, and then if there are good people around me, they make me take medicine and I feel better.
Oh, well, that's good. We all need our strong support systems.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, I don't have a bunch of other stuff, but it was good talking to you.
Yeah, well, stay safe, buddy. Be careful, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Half my supporters are gonna die after the last event. Nice.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Pickle.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm a little upset with Dan.
Why? What did Dan do? I'm always down for being upset with Dan. So
it was a while back, but I got pulled into the chat as a tier 1, and the situation was pretty heavy. You know, he put a lot on my shoulders. He said I was coming in here representing the tier 1s, and that I had to end my statement with a question. And I did that, and then he still booted me. And ever since then, I mean, people have been doxing me. I've got threat letters coming to my house, and I just want to know how you're going to make me right here. Because it's obviously your fault.
Oof, man, that's a rough one. But I would definitely say for issues like that, Cake loves to get those types of messages. The more the more kind of like irrelevant-y the interpersonal drama is, the more Cake just loves to mediate those types of issues. I think he missed his true calling, which was just probably being some type of internet moderator, because he loves that stuff so much, you know.
So I should reach out to him on that?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm guessing the longer the message is, the better it is,
yeah,
right?
and try not to he's got like a very rare disease that causes him to have trouble reading multiple lines at a time unless it's all together. So make sure you send it all in one giant block of Oh man, he just got where did that guy go? Feznet, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing great.
My question is, so I think like along the lines of the discussion you just had, where like you're talking to the guy in the COVID stuff, I feel like part of the problem we have is that like people lose faith in institutions way too quick off of like one thing. And I was wondering, like, how do you wish people would evaluate like institutional credibility?
I wish that people would. This is so weird because like interpersonally you have to do this so much, but maybe people don't. I think it's really important to understand why people lie about things. Because it gives you a good deal of information about like the type of person they are, you know? But people seem to think that like if somebody's lying, it's like you can't trust a single thing they say about anything, and everything is fucked and corrupt and horrible and evil. And it's like, well, hold on. Well, let's like, can we try to think of some other reasons why somebody might like not be 100% honest about a particular thing here? Like, let's say that you find out that in growing up, my little sister wants to go out because she has friends and she wants to go party, and she's like graduating high school, and my parents are like, let's say theoretically they're like ultra Nazis and they never want her to go out and have any fun ever. And let's say that like I lie on behalf of her, right? And I'm like, oh no, like I think she's just gonna go hang out at Samantha's house. She's not doing anything. Like it's chill. Let's say that like a new girlfriend finds out about that. Like, she would never find out about that and be like, oh my God, you lied to protect your sister? I bet you would cheat on me, and I bet you would actually steal money from, like, a homeless person who was about to starve to death. Like, nobody would say that. They would look at, like, okay, well, like, there's a little bit of a natural inclination to look at, like, okay, well, you lied about this. Why did you lie? Would you lie in other circumstances? Like, I think that's how normal people evaluate most of the situations. But, man, when it comes to, like, government shit or whatever, and it's like, why would they lie? So, like, for instance, earlier, we look at, like, the Fauci stuff. Like, why would they try to lie, or why would they try to suppress so much conversation about the lab leak theory? Oh, well, the answer is obvious. They're corrupt. They're trying to scam the American people. They want everybody to die. They want more control. And it's like, okay, well, hold on. Let's back up. Maybe they're just lying about it because they like know that the debate is ultra contentious and can lead to like a lot of really negative public health consequences. Like, is that it? Maybe we're not going to say that we want to believe that 100%, but can we acknowledge that's at least a possibility? But like, yeah, when it comes to people that you don't like lying, especially government people just jump to the most insane things, and then they'll say they'll lie about everything, and it's just like completely over it. It's like, damn, like, is that really the case? Like, I don't know. It's kind of irritating to me.
Yeah, I was reading, there's an article by, I know you're familiar with Matthew Iglesias, and he was writing about like the lab leak thing, which legitimately, like, I think at times like the media was probably a little too jumpy on that in terms, like, because there's been this hard thing with the lab leak. Yeah, where it's like, oh, like there's a confused, like you can do like this Mott and Bailey thing where it's like, oh, it's a bioweapon versus like, which is like completely fucking insane, versus like a lab leak, which could be legitimate depending on
Sure,
the evidence.
The problem too
and
is that, I don't know if Matt brings it up in the article, but like lab leak means a lot of different things, right? Because for some people, like even when I say that I'm like 95.5 on like lab leak, like there are some versions of lab leak that like I'm more likely to believe than others, right? Like I feel like there was careless handling of certain things and somebody got sick and left, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Like that could have happened, sure. But there are other people that are like, oh, lab leak means that like the government itself like literally was involved in creating a bioweapon that they intentionally leaked to destroy, you know, the United States. Like people think that's also part of lab leak, you know? So it's hard because like quote unquote lab leak includes a whole diversity of opinions, some of which are fucking insane, some of which are really reasonable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's about all I had. So thanks for Georgia. I was there and I had a good time. So
cool. Are you dying of COVID yet?
No, I've actually managed to remain completely healthy. I don't know why. I had some sternum pain and some shortness of breath a couple of days ago, so I thought I was gonna fucking die. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Jesus.
But, okay now, so.
Gotcha. Well, hey, if you get like a PCR test that comes back positive or anything, make sure to file your results with Cake. Okay, he would love to hear about your personal health
Definitely
journey.
will do. I'll send him a long ass DM.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Slavic Donut, what's up?
Hey, what's up, my dude?
Nothing much. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Cool.
What do you think the federal tax brackets, income tax brackets, should be?
Damn, dude, I don't know. That's a really complicated fucking question. Why do you ask me this?
Well, okay. A lot of the progressive rhetoric about taxation is about the rich paying their fair share.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's super stupid. But
when it comes down to it, any sort of policy like that probably wouldn't be an increase in like W-2 income. But
sure.
like
when I think of like taxation, what I think of is there's a certain set of social programs that our country ought to provide, and then we need a progressive tax bracket that taxes our citizens accordingly. That's what I think. I don't believe in like paying your fair share or you shouldn't be a billionaire. Like I don't care about any of that. I just want certain social programs to exist. I want those programs to be funded, and wealthier people should probably be paying a higher percentage of their income because they can afford it. That's like my view on it. A lot of people view taxes as like fucking punishment for like people. I think that's cringe as fuck. I don't want to like punish billionaires or millionaires or punish anybody. It's just usually they can afford to pay more taxes without it like hurting them. So yeah.
Sure. Do you think the income brackets as they're laid out now, more like, I can't remember that. I don't have the exact numbers. I think it's something like the top 10% of W-2 earners pay something like 75% of like the total income there, or maybe not income, the total taxation that the government collects.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Like, could it be that much higher without it just being kind of ridiculous past a certain point?
No, I think it's fair. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I feel like most high earners acknowledge that, but I could be wrong. I feel like most high earners are like, yeah, taxes or whatever.
I mean, I make way too much money working from home.
Uh-huh.
Stay mad, Dan.
Are you salty about like tax brackets and shit?
No. I mean, I would prefer to not if I don't have to, but like, I for sure could stand to pay more in taxes.
Sure.
Yeah. Like
the only thing I'll say is
by any means.
The only thing I don't like that makes me a little bit salty is our state tax brackets because they're so variable from one place to another. That's the only thing I don't like. So like when I lived in California and I'm paying these like massive taxes that no one else in the country does, that's kind of fucking irritating. What at the federal level, like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, like I'm looking at moving soon, and that's like the one thing where it's like, man, like I could move somewhere with like no taxes or the same or around the same, but like I couldn't stand to move somewhere where it would be like double state income taxes. Like that would just it would just do psychic damage. I can't do that.
Yeah, fuck that.
All right, that's all I had. Thanks.
Okay, I love you, babe.
Bye.
I just overrode all of my train stop names. Fuck me. It's okay, we can read that. Dr. Darko, what is up, fam?
God, Jesus Christ. Okay.
What?
Hey, sorry. What part about the lab leak theory do you think is reasonable?
Well, when I say reasonable, what I mean is that like I could see it happening. Like it's not outside the realm of possibility that like somebody got lazy or there were bad safety measures or some shit like that is what I'm saying.
Like What do you not think there's precautions taken for like when they're
Yeah, I'm sure there
doing
are
research?
precautions taken. From what I've heard, and I haven't verified these myself, and I really should. What I've heard is that a lot of there were like safety breaches or safety protocols that had been breached a few times, and that people got a little bit careless about it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'd heard that.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't doubt that that's true, but I guess I would be curious about what exactly those protocols are. If it's like, you know, like certain stuff like not being like some missing signatures here and there about like, you know, like you have to check something out and like sign in triplicate to, you know, like take something. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess.
Why? What are you asking, or what is the point of what you're getting at?
I just don't like. I think nature's better at making viruses than we are. Like currently, right now.
Yeah, so I think that the most favorable lab leak theory, if somebody wanted to put one forth, was that people found a virus in the wild that nature made. They brought it back to a laboratory to study it, but they didn't use very good safety protocols while studying it. Somebody got infected or sick. They went over to like a wet market or whatever, and then they infected people there, and that's how it spread. That's like the most favorable version of the lab leak theory, I think.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. This is just I don't know. Like me being a person in this field, but yeah, just like the you know like the. It's like 98% similar to like, you know, other coronaviruses that we know, but like the 2% that's different is like incredibly hard to replicate. Like with
I've heard that, but there's like also like always like rationale given for why it could have been that like maybe they brought in a bunch of animals or they watched a virus develop naturally, like that was in containment or whatever, and then it got leaked out or whatever. So it wasn't necessarily like man-made, but they watched it develop in a lab and then I got leaked that way or something, right?
I mean, I get like, I don't know, like I'm
not telling you to say that like this is what happened. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. Like I could see it as a possibility.
I'm just saying like humans doing it could accelerate it to like, you know, it happening in like 70 years. But like if nature did it, it would take like probably over like 100 or something. And like that's just, I don't know, dog. It's just like a really long fucking time, you know?
Sure, well.
What other random or two other random things? Do you like monitor your audio live? Like do you hear your own voice in your headphones?
Yep.
While you're streaming? Oh, all right, interesting. And yeah, I guess like what's your edgiest vaccine or COVID take?
My edgiest vaccine or I don't know if I have any edgy takes on this at the moment. Yeah. Sorry.
Sure. No, you're all right. Well, I work for Big Pharma, so
What do you do for Big Pharma?
I work in quality testing for the Pfizer vaccine and other stuff.
Well,
I
cool.
put the microchips like inside of the syringes specifically, and make sure there's enough microchips per square centimeter.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You need to attenuate mine because my 5G shit has been getting fucked recently. So.
Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that. Wait, did you get the bivalent update?
No, I was going to, but then I got sick recently, and I don't really want to be sick twice in a row. So, but I probably will before I travel next.
For sure. Yeah. I same thing happened to me actually. Anyways.
Okay.
All right. Well. Have a good one, bud.
Have fun. Peace out.
Yeah.
I steal jokes.
Whoa. What's up, man?
What up?
I got two things for you. All right. Number one. For taking the Benjamin straight to the NOS and hit a blinker.
Okay. Wait, did you ask if I would?
Yeah.
I don't have any blinkers on me at the moment, but
damn,
when I get one, I'll think
All
about
right.
it. Okay.
Yeah, no shame. No shame there.
Okay.
Second thing, less Yodi. Yeah, you. I sent you a schizo email a while ago.
Based, okay.
It was like a 2K word situation.
Nice.
I don't know if you recall. You brought it up on stream.
Uh-oh.
And it was no, it's all chill.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you talked about my sister Remilia. Super long time ago.
I do remember your email. That was was she trans person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, pretty much the story there. Pretty much everybody considered it a suicide just because of like the wording on all the press releases and like on Reddit and the League sub because it's a toxic fucking wasteland there.
Sure.
So yeah, everybody kind of like considered it to be a suicide, but just wanted to correct for you, and it seemed like there were a bunch of people in your stream who kind of knew about her, like supported her or whatever, but it wasn't a suicide. It was just a pretty like shitty accident. But yeah, you brought it up in relation to, I think, Keffels. It was like a stupid Twitter post that she had about trans people and like body dysmorphia and all this shit. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but yeah, I do want to say though, body dysmorphia definitely didn't play any small part in the quality of life thing. So you weren't totally wrong on that. But
gotcha.
Anyway.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the added
Hit me
info.
with another gotcha, man, dude.
Well, damn, you follow this up after talking about hitting the pendulum, okay? Jesus Christ, okay?
Well, look, dude, I like
God
to. God
damn,
to
dude,
do
you just blinked me into the.
the.
Yeah, that's absolutely the 1-2. Fuck.
A 1-2 punch, a little uppercut.
Yeah.
Either way, man. Appreciate your content. And yeah, big love, Yoda gang, dude.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See you, man.
Bye. Jesus. Hit the Benjamin? Shut the fuck up. You guys are degenerate fucks. Thoughts on Croatia beating Brazil in penalties? I just love how much of fucking football games are decided on your dumbass fucking penalty kicks. That's how fucking boring your games are. God, what a horrible fucking sport. No shot. Is it going to go all the way? Oh, I can do this. The game was 0-0 for over an hour. Yeah, I know. That's how European sports work. They just like to never score, and then they call it like really exciting. It's the slow ball that penetrates the goal, as they might say. Feels black, man. What's up?
What's up?
Nothing much.
All right. Oh yeah. Why do you bait yourself into all these dramas for no reason?
Well, these are all like one-day dramas, and then they're done, so I don't care that much.
Oh, I see.
The Kai one was stupid. He just was a big baby over it, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care about him or that community. Vosh, legitimately, I hope. Yeah, and Asana is stupid. I don't care. Was there any serious drama we were involved? I think it was all just like throwaway comments over the past like 2 days. I don't think much has happened.
It's all like throwaway comments, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like you try so hard to like make it so that like, oh, my community is like a really cool community. People should, see us as not like a bunch of losers who are just debate lords online and who just try to ruin people's lives or whatever. But then you bait yourself into these weird dramas where people go on Reddit and then, they just defend you over like the weirdest things.
Everything on the past shit was so dumb though. Here's I've been permanent. A ton of people were doing this. I love banning you guys. It just makes me feel so good, and I hope you guys go to Mr. Girl sub after. Okay, these fucking morons in my subreddit. I hate that I get held to these insane fucking standards. Meanwhile, I've got to watch these actual fucking buffoons on the other side making crazy claims. People in my subreddit are like, I don't know why Destiny is so mad. Like they didn't even say anything that bad about him. Like Hassan is literally writing off my community as a group full of fucking racists that don't want to see black people succeed. And then people in my community are like, I don't know why Destiny even cares that much. Like it's not a big deal. Who cares? Like, are you fucking serious? Like it's the most triggering, like stupid shit in the world these people say constantly. It actually like triggers the fuck out of me. But you know, what are you gonna do? It's all at the end of the day, we all just are here to meme, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's like easy ways for you to get out of stuff, and you just choose not to do it. I don't know if it's because it's
The
like
easy, what am I supposed to do when fucking Hassan fucking writes my community off as fucking racist?
Well, I'm saying like with the whole like Kai situation or whatever, right? You make a comment, and I agree, it's not racist or anything, but like it was like obviously it's a community that you don't know much about, but you were making a generalization about that community when it's probably only like 2 of them realistically.
It might be, but like, here's another problem too. Okay, this was like a fucking random, like 5-second throwaway comment I made as part of like a 9-hour stream. I can't always predict like every fucking clip that's gonna blow up. Like,
this is true.
So like, and if somebody wants to get that fucking mad over something so stupid because they're so fucking fragile, then I don't fucking care. Fuck them, dude.
Okay.
Like, yeah, in retrospect, I wish I never said anything ever that was incorrect. That would be based.
No, I mean, that's stupid. Like, obviously, you're not gonna say
like,
everything right.
Are you empathetic towards my position? How it's possible that I could think that, like, oh yeah, there's like a bunch of like Black Zoomer screamer content.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, like
and then
that's all you see on Reddit.
And I think I even said I was like, yeah, maybe that might not be the majority of it. Maybe that's just all that gets posted or whatever. But then people take that and it's like, are you saying all black people scream all the time? It's like, no, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, I don't know. I think that's wild to me. But whatever. You know, memer's gonna meme.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, just ever since I guess like the whole Mizkif drama blew over, there's been a contingent of Destiny posters on live stream fails that I feel like their whole mission is just to get you in more trouble and drama than you ever want to be.
There's a lot of like weird anti-fan people that I picked up. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, compared to like everything that's gone on, like I feel like it's frustrating because it's so fucking silly to me. And I don't know, again, if it's an age thing or if it's just like the type of content that I've been involved in. But the idea that like these, like Hassan is saying Destiny is going to start a mini race war because I said like Black Zoomer streamers are loud because of clips. It's just like the silliest, stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish I was never wrong about anything ever, or I didn't like. Maybe
he was really playing up the I guess the victim card yesterday. He was
yeah, because he just can't keep me out of his mouth. He just probably fucking imagines every night when he goes to bed he's probably got some fucking silicone mold of my cock that he just shoves down his throat over and over again because he misses me so bad or some shit. So he just can't help but fucking slander me since he can't slobber on me on his fucking stream any chance he gets. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
Okay, well, that was it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
okay.
man.
I love you, buddy.
Have a good one.
Bye. Jamiyathan. Wow. Truly, the Shakespeare of our time. I don't think I could have said that any better even if I wanted to. Indeed. Tell us how you really feel, though. I can't believe I mixed these two fucking... Wait, where the fuck did the other one go? What the fuck? Oh, it came through automatically. Cute. Okay. I need to add... Orbit... Wait, these stops don't even make sense. Wait, did I fuck these up again? Orbit. Orbit. Okay. We need to add orbit minimalize extra. Yes. Yes. And then delete. Okay, this train should be good. Okay, Jamiathon, you lost your chance. Issy, hello.
Let's go. Okay, listen. I watched your podcast with Adam22 and that other guy. I don't remember. It was the Sledgelord podcast, and you talked a bunch about like vagina shapes and shit. Now, nobody asked this, but I do. Okay. Do you think like the dick shape matters too? Like on not on the pleasure of like the woman, but on your own pleasure. Like if your dick is shaped a certain way, it will you know, you. No one asked this. Okay.
Yeah, you said
right. But do you think that's a thing that like your dick shape is gonna have an impact on how much pleasure you get out of the sex?
I have
like,
no
not
fucking
size.
idea.
You know what? Fuck this. This was a shit question.
Wait, no, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Some people have like really uniquely shaped dicks. They're like have huge like
let's make this clear.
Yeah.
Okay. The head of the penis. Okay, that's the most sensitive part.
Sure.
There's no fucking way. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So if your dick is shaped like a fucking banana, where it's skinnier at the tip and like it bulges out in the middle, I feel like it will like stretch out the vagina in the middle and like remove a lot of the pressure on the head itself, and that will like fuck your shit up. Either you have to find a vagina that's like tighter at the end, so it like matches yours, or it's just gonna like permanently kind of like fuck up your like like your fucking like pleasure or something.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, cause
maybe,
dude. I know I'm right. Whatever.
Okay.
People just aren't ready to listen. Okay.
Yeah, maybe they're not ready for that take yet.
Anyways, that was it basically. You have a good stream. I love your blue hair, and I've been waiting a long time for this fight with the WL community. I'm all here for it.
Yeah. Are you a
I don't
LGBT
know,
member or what?
No, I'm black myself, but I'm not really an American black guy. I'm like Norwegian black. I'm not. I'm a European.
That mean?
I'm I'm half black, half Norwegian. I live in Norway. I sound like an American. Don't ask why. Okay.
Wait, hold on. What? Wait,
I've been waiting for it because I feel like there's a lot of big issues with that community in general. Okay, not like it's rampantly homophobic, extremely sexist. Like holy shit, amount of sexism that reeks out of that place.
Absolutely,
it's just
true.
It's just fucking stupid when they
Preach.
when they cry about like, you know, racism and shit. But when they're the most ableist people out there, like right now,
true.
basically overtly ableist. That means
overtly.
However, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit of an idiot. Okay, a little zoomer. Sometimes I find their shit funny. Sometimes.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of funny, like watching that speed guy, the younger one, like walk around being a complete cause no one I wouldn't do that shit. Okay. Because that shit's like I would be too embarrassed. But the fact that he can walk around in like one of the most conservative countries, like Qatar, and start fucking twerking in a mosque. Okay, that's kind of funny. All right.
Yeah, probably yeah.
But you know. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm done.
Do you
Fuck
think,
this. Fuck you, chat.
wait.
I'm not a fucking virgin.
We
The
don't-
reason I know this is because I've had sex.
Nice, good job. Do you think Miz is natty? That's the question of the day.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't. Listen, bro. I don't really care about. I don't care about Miss Kim.
Wow. No opinion entered into the record. Okay,
Maybe
interesting.
he could be. I haven't paid enough attention to have an opinion on that. Do you think so?
I don't know. I'm just collecting data for now. We'll see what people think.
Yeah. Why are you collecting data from like a random guy calling in the?
I don't know. A lot of people have strong opinions on this on the internet right now. So
Let me pull up his Instagram. Let me take a look. Okay. As a guy who went to the gym like 4 times before he gave up, I can give a perfectly unbiased and completely factual opinion on if he's natty or not.
Fucking based. Hell yes.
So the thing I'm looking for, right?
Oh, yeah,
are like the
you're gonna
heroin
talk
marks
about,
because
delts
steroids
and
are
the
definitely
traps and
take.
the
No.
gut
I'm just
and
gonna
the
talk
acne.
about how I think.
Okay.
How I think steroids work because I assume that they shoot that shit up with a needle like before they go to the gym. So I'm looking at his arms, right?
Oh.
And I don't see any like heroin needle marks.
Well,
so
I don't
I think he's natty.
Okay, based. All right. Thank you.
I think Miskip is natty, and he's like, at least he's working hard. Fuck it. I don't really look down on people who use steroids. I mean, you're killing your own dick. That's your business.
Listen, there are a
Go
lot of
ahead,
people
man.
saying that he must be on juice because streamers are just lazy fucks. I saw that a lot being posted online.
Oh man, that's actually a fairly good point.
Well, no,
dude, streamers
that
are
was
so
supposed to be-
fucking
no,
lazy,
hold
man.
on, that's supposed to be not a good point. You fucking inbred? What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not paying attention. Listen, that's what. Okay, no, wait, no, streamers are lazy as fuck. What do you mean?
Yeah, so they're saying he must be juicing because he's lazy. They're
Yes.
too lazy to be natty. Yeah, well, fuck you.
Okay, so okay, but I don't judge him for juicing. He can do that if he wants to. It doesn't affect me at all.
Okay.
Anyways, do you think you'd ever rebuild your like? Listen, fuck me, okay?
Okay.
I truly do not give a fuck about streamers, okay? I'm like, there has to be other people in this chat. You can check my logs. I rarely type in DGG. I don't watch other streamers than you, okay? It's just like I don't have time for it. I have work. I have other shit I need to do. I can watch you sometimes. I listen to you when I take the bus to work.
Okay.
I like your content. You're the only streamer I really give a shit about.
Thanks.
Now, do you like? I don't watch XQC. I don't watch I don't watch Twitch basically. Like, do you think? I don't think you should fucking rebuild the bus with XQC because like he fucking like I don't know what he's like. He only sides with you when he has beef with Hassan. But anytime he has like I don't know. Anytime you beef with anyone, like anytime you have beef with someone, he almost seems to like take the opposite side. If you're beefing with like as you're doing now, the bridge, the bridge. Did I say bus?
Yeah, whatever. It's all the same. Yeah, I don't know. It probably depends on the beef, but you might be right. But I don't know.
Build the bus. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no. It's just nobody acts like this in real life. It's insane. Like people, like not if I have friends, and if I said some dumb shit, like they go out of their way to remind me. I asked them to do this. Like, hey, if I say stupid shit in a car, like in a social, I'll fuck up sometimes with like girls or other new people. It's just that I want them to I want to grow as a person, and criticism grows that. But it doesn't feel like these people do. They just like side with the person they're the most biggest friend with, even if he says or does some stupid shit. Like there's like no like friendly accountability here. It's just dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I don't know.
why you shouldn't like condone that kind of behavior. If you now have beef, like semi beef, you don't really have beef with XCC, but like if you are on opposite sides and he's like slinging shit at you, like just remember that. And next time he comes crawling for some help when he's losing some fucking debate, you just tell him to not fuck up and like, nah, I'm busy, or like, nah, you remember you did this, I'm not really like, don't let him fucking come back, like fuck that.
Jesus. Okay, I'll keep this in mind, man.
You have to like when he's leaving you out to dry like this, like hopping on the train with people who call you a fucking racist when, come on, dude, no.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like no, like when he needs you, just be like, like, ain't I racist? Like, why would you want my help? You know what I mean?
True.
Anyways, be the truly right-driven person you are. Just fucking burn all the bridges. You don't need anyone else. You got Dan, you got Mooten, you got all the people in your close circle. You don't need all these fucking idiots to like, I don't know, fuck them.
Okay, man. Jeez.
Also, listen, I hate League as much as the other DGGer, but like, sometimes, just sometimes. You need to. You have like a schedule, right? You have like listen, fuck you, bro. I stopped watching like after like 4 games, okay? Like everyone else. But like, listen, it feels like something's happening to you, man. And I feel like League could fix that, just a little bit of it. The rift is calling. Okay.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, be mad at me. Be mad at me. Yeah.
Okay.
Screech.
We got
feed off that shit.
Okay.
Anyways, that's it basically. Banana dicks matter too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Be careful, dude.
You fucking kill.
That dude is unhinged, I would say. A little bit. _72.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, man. You sound pretty schizophrenic. Oh boy.
A little bit. Anyway, listen. I was curious what you thought about the Griner bout situation.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of indifferent towards it. I think it's fine. Fuck it.
Yeah, the way I see it, there's probably 3 things that are kind of weird about it. One is obviously the situation of trading an arms dealer for a basketball player. 2.
So here, I can explain each of these, okay? So the first one I've heard is that the arms dealer shit is not really relevant anymore. This was a guy that was like big in like the Soviet era and shit when he had like the ability to have all these connections and ship all these things, but like those connections are gone. It's not like he's going to jump back into that life, and he's come up for like being released in a few years anyway. So I've heard that one, number 1. And then go ahead.
Sure. And I would agree with that.
Okay.
2 would be, should we be involved with a Russian prisoner breaking a Russian law?
I don't know. How did we even capture him? What was the...
Oh, no, I'm talking about Brittany. Our person in Russia, working in Russia, breaking a Russian law. Should we be involved in their shit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Wasn't she sentenced to like hard labor for having like a marijuana pen?
Yeah, it was like half of like an empty cart or something like that, and they charged her for drug smuggling. It was pretty bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
But, yeah.
I think it's okay for us to be involved in that, yeah.
Sure. And 3rd would be, if I can remember what the 3rd thing is. Oh, yeah.
We're waiting with bated breath. Or did Russia get him too? Uh-oh. He went to Benjamin prison? Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hi.
My mic cut out. 3rd would be, is it, well, obviously it's hypocritical that we're sort of getting her from a Russian prison for breaking a law that is, would be illegal even in the States for doing the things she did.
Yeah, but I don't think we'd sentence him to like 10 years hard labor or something, right?
Sure, but I mean, the charge was drug smuggling from a different country. I assume, obviously it was a bullshit sentence, but even if that was the sentence she got here, it'd probably be comparable to what she got there. Maybe.
Would it really be? If you get caught with 1 gram of weed on a plane, I feel like they just make you throw it out.
Well, sure, for a drug smuggling charge, even if it was bullshit, if it was a charge for drug smuggling and she got sentenced for that, it probably would be somewhere in there. But I don't know. I was just seeing what you thought about all this.
Yeah, I'm okay with it now. Fuck it.
Okay.
Apparently
Well,
the only big thing that I didn't like was there was another guy that was captured who seemed like it'd be better to release him, but then I started hearing, I need to research more, but I started hearing
the
some,
Fogel guy?
Yeah, some iffy things about that dude's
Yeah,
history.
he had like several ounces on him. He was actually
Well, not
drug
just that
smuggling.
tell me that guy was like, tell me if this is right or wrong. Apparently that dude was like dishonorably charged from the fucking Navy. He stole like $10,000.
Oh, that's the espionage guy.
Yeah.
There were some questions about his patriotism for us.
Yeah,
and-
so I don't know about that dude. I don't know how I feel
yeah,
about that guy.
and plus they had a big sort of parade around his sentencing too. I don't think Russia's going to release him anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. But
anyway, I just thought what your opinion on all that was, and yeah.
Okay, well,
have a good day.
Yeah, have a good one, buddy. Ninja Healer.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going. How are you going?
Every day is another struggle, but not going too bad.
What? Damn, why is every day a struggle?
Are you that familiar with medical residencies?
A little bit, yeah. Is that what you're doing right now?
Wife is, and it's interestingly challenging on both the spouse and whatnot. Like, my wife's resident mate lost her husband. But, I mean, yeah, we're fine. It's just really interestingly challenging.
Wait, are you doing residency then, or just her?
Just her.
Oh, that's base, dude. You get to. She wakes up in the morning and leaves. You get to go back to sleep. She's struggling doing shit. Do you work right now, or do you just like take care of house stuff?
I'm full-time house dude, and it sounds
awesome, dude. Yeah.
It's pretty base, but sounds really crazy at the same time to say it's a tough life because I don't have to worry about bills, you know.
Just bring some girls over, you know, have some fun, play some Fortnite. Like, you're good to go, man. But anyway, no, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I don't know about residency in particular, but I can imagine, yeah.
I'll tell her you recommended that, though. I'll see what she says.
Based, okay.
Yeah, official Destiny recommendations. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a pretty... The craziest thing to me, though, is, like, I've worked in pretty tough, like, jobs, fields, and whatnot. But I don't know. Like, is that crazy when it's like, I don't know, it's your full-time job where you help them calm down by day, you're there by text. I don't know. It just seems like the weakest thing in the world to be like, man, this is a tough life.
No, I mean, literally, your wife's probably heard of this. It's called, oh, Jesus, I just got hit by a train, sorry. It's called caretaker burnout, right?
Yeah, and like compassion fatigue. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, those are very, very, very real things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially for you. Like, I've seen like a lot of your debates and stuff, and I always found it as like extremely like samurai honorable when you'd be debating with someone and they clearly had no idea their own steelman argument and you just hand it to them, which is crazy. You could probably put a clip together of hours of all the times when you just handed it to them, and like over time, like I've seen how you just get attacked and people would say like you're not charitable.
Oh yeah, even though I'm like it just is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I mean, I mean there has to be other people online that do that too. I just haven't seen them. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like today one of the hardest things that we have to fight is baseless but strongly held opinions like Dunning-Kruger, where you can't like reason with logic anymore, and people aren't even ready to have a lot of conversations. But they're ready to hold. Like the other day, you said like there should be some sort of a measure that if you go really hard in on a certain belief or something, and then later it turns out is completely fucking baseless, then you should lose some credit for that.
Sure, yeah. I think I'm starting to ask people these questions. I stole it from that Peter guy. That like how strongly do you feel about a particular thing, and what piece of evidence would change your mind, and what evidence do you have for it? And it's funny, I think I've done that 2 or 3 times now, and people tell me they feel like 9 out of 10 conviction for some idea, and they don't have like any evidence for it. They can't think of like a single and I'm like, damn, how do you have so much conviction behind this thing then? Like, it doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
Just crazy, and they're willing to like, I don't want to say go to war over them, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm kind of like more in the middle, obviously more libertarian, but it feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like on the far left we have this more of a mentality of anyone who doesn't agree with us should be canceled, fired, and they actually do kind of go through with it. I mean, especially like Twitch and stuff. But then on the far right, it seems like there's this other kind of type of logic where we don't necessarily deeply look into any one thing, but we will kind of cast a blanket over a lot of things that seem to give each other credence. Would you say that's roughly more or less what we...
I don't know if I understand what you mean when you say that.
Well, like just on, it feels like much more on the, like if you look at the different like ways that people will approach logic itself or approach decisions on whether or not someone else is right or wrong or what truth is for that matter. On the left, it seems to be like liberalism put to an extreme, that if you don't, for example, agree that trans should be in sports, then you are anti-trans and, you know, you should be fired from your career. Where I don't know if you see as much of that on the right, but I feel like more so on the right. Instead, you see these wide nets of, we don't particularly know the depth of Pizzagate, but that seems to also give credence to, these other conspiracy theories that we haven't really looked too deeply into. I mean, would you say that's roughly like a fair characterization of the far left and the far right?
Maybe, yeah, I think I agree with you, yeah.
Yeah, because then I was thinking, like, what would it take for society to start to heal? And I think one of the other toughest things that I think, obviously, a lot of streamers run into, and they happily buy into just preaching to the choir, or just meme posting or whatever, And I don't know, like I like to think about what it would take to try to. I mean, obviously the people on the far left or the far right are a bit too far gone, but I don't know. I like to think about what it would take to try to, and obviously like this is like the omniliberal and like your kind of platform of trying to have nuance on both sides, of like just what would it take for us to kind of try to get back to discussions, even with people who seem to have that as their last priority.
I think for me, I mean, it's the same shit I've been saying. My goal is always to just try to have like open and honest discussions around all topics, and hopefully people see that you're willing to engage on any topic, then they'll be more like receptive to you talking about it. That's kind of my goal, right?
Yeah, I mean that's an honorable goal, and obviously a tough one because there's this obviously this tough thing with human beings that it's easy to be someone's friend when you think they're agreeing with you and you think that they support you in every way, but it becomes a character quality when they realize that they're wrong on something. And like, do they own up to it and check themselves and maybe go back to the drawing board, or B, do they just character assassinate? And there's a really interesting debate you had with Vosh back in the day when things began to fall apart. I think you guys were debating about real estate or something, and you're starting to push for solutions, and you could just see like his soul like crushed, like fuck. So why are you asking me for like to base these opinions to have applicable solutions? And then from there on, like, he started slowly more and more this avalanche of character assassinations that eventually blew up. And I don't know, it's like that moment when a person, and you can see it too, even more so recently than in the past, like there's this clear moment when like you realize that the person, example was the NFT dude when he just kept asking what's an NFT, and then all the callers called in and asked him, like, obviously like he was like so gone. But I wonder if when you recognize that point of like, okay, like this dude has no idea what he has, would it be an additional win and help to kind of like push forward in the conversation to, for example, just tell him what an NFT is?
Well, no, I didn't want to in that particular thing, because the goal was I knew that he didn't know what an NFT was, and I wanted to demonstrate that, and I think I did. But I knew that he didn't know. That's why I was asking him to explain it.
Okay, and you feel like if you told him like, oh hey, since you seem to not
Well,
know
no,
this,
it was to prove that like he's trying to make a hit piece about me, but he doesn't even know the subject that he's talking about. So if you want to be critical about something I've said about NFTs, well, in order to have that conversation, first I need to make sure you even know what an NFT is, and if you don't, then you're probably not equipped to have the conversation. And I think he knew that, and that's why he didn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that whole thing was based from, I guess, him complaining about your complaint. And it's funny when these guys like, was it the Kai dude, the big black streamer on Twitch?
The large black content creator, yes.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy to me is like there's this thing that I think we all do to one degree or another, that oftentimes our defense itself can color the original mistake that we made for the worse. Like a lawyer once told me, like, if you're in court or whatever, the answer is no. You don't have to go into some long story. But it's funny because he easily could have said, oh, that was a skit, he was in on it, obviously, no one should do this like in the real world, but I don't know, would you agree that his reaction to your small clip itself could easily color what he did in negative light?
I mean, well, probably not. If you agree with him, you probably thought his reaction was justified, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're already on his side, then you're just, anyone who watches is going to be like, oh yeah, base, shout. But anyone who's on the fence or anyone who's not on his side, like, I feel that his, like, reaction just looks like a doubling down when his reaction could have just been simple.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
You guys are mixing up black streamers again.
Wait, who? Wait, what?
What?
You guys are, I'm pretty sure you guys are talking about Speed.
No, we're talking about Kai, I'm pretty sure.
With the Chinese
No, wait.
The Chinese...
Speed was the one that made the Chinese comment, but Kai was the one that had the response to it. Or are you talking about, did you mean to talk about Speed's response?
Yeah, I think Ninja is talking about Speed.
Oh, I'm talking about the, Yeah, my bad. I thought.
And also, Kai is a popular streamer. He's not big, okay? He's 5'3".
Jesus Christ, Cherry.
Hey, it's the heart that matters. Yeah, I mean, I was mixing them up. With the way he defended it, like, I'm like, damn, was this you? Like, why are you so personally offended? I mean, maybe you can answer that.
Hold on. Now I thought you were talking about Kai's response to me. I'm completely lost track of the conversation.
Oh, I was talking about Kai's response to you, but in his response, I made the mistake of thinking that he was Speed. I've never seen Speed or heard of Speed before, but because of that, like, long-winded rant he had, I'm like, he was so personally butthurt from what you said. I'm like,
no. Who you're talking about? Kai now?
Yeah, I'm talking about Kai.
Yeah.
I thought he was Speed because of how impassionate his rant was against you.
Oh, no, he's...
So he was just upset? He was that upset that you were criticizing someone else?
Well, no, because he was upset... He was upset because I think in his perspective, I was degrading the 2 upcoming big black streamers by just saying their content was just screaming. So he thought I was trying to take away from their content because I'm a white dude who doesn't want to see black people succeed or something. That was like his irritation. That was his perspective.
Such a crazy overgeneralization, though. Like, it'd be different if you said all black streamers only shout and rave.
Sure, but that was his takeaway from what I said, because I said there was a new wave of like black Zoomer streamers, and what he heard was me saying that like, oh, all black streamers must do this thing, so he felt like I was overgeneralizing, so he got mad at my perceived overgeneralization.
I think that's a fair misinterpretation. It's kind of funny though when you're responding to someone's note saying that they feel that there's a wave of black streamers shouting and raging, and responding to that with more shouting and raging. I don't know, there's something kind of ironic about that.
Maybe, but you know, it is what it is, yeah.
Yeah. Last thing, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It feels really awkward when there's like, when you have such a big audience and I feel like I'm just injecting myself into the discussion without their consent. But yeah, sorry everyone. No, but I just want to thank, like, thanks like a shit ton for everything you did in Georgia. I haven't seen any other streamers putting up their own funds, putting up their own, you know, I mean, it's unfortunate you got sick and you missed a lot of it, but, you know, that we need more people like that. They're willing to, you know, overcome their own inner demons and get out there and, you know, so, I don't know, just keep rocking on.
Well, thanks, buddy. I'll do my best, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Later, man.
Have fun, bye. Boom, there they go. Look at all these trains! Look at them all running perfectly! What do you want?
Yeah.
What?
I got a couple questions for you, my dude.
Okay, can I grab a Red Bull and use the restroom real quick?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you dye your hair?
Look, no, I don't have hair, dude.
Oh yeah, fuck, I'm sorry. It takes me like an hour to like, I've got to like blow dry it, I got to like condition it, wash it twice with some weird dye thing. It's actually, I got gloves and, oh, it's the gayest I've ever felt my entire life.
Sounds tragic.
It is. Okay, hold on, I'll be back in 1 second.
Why are you blow drying it?
He's already gone. You missed him.
I'm late.
Wait, what did you say?
Why are you blow drying your hair?
Because it's already fucking frizzled and destroyed anyway. Why the fuck does it matter?
No, you have to avoid heat. Heat will make it worse.
It's already annihilated. I don't know if heat matters at this point.
And you want it more annihilated?
I don't think it can get more annihilated from a fucking bleach. when you bleach brunette hair, it just gets fucking destroyed. I don't know if it can get worse.
You don't have to tell me what happens to hair with chemicals, okay?
Okay, then I don't think it gets worse. Also, I don't have to use the max heat setting, but I do because I don't give a fuck. But I'm pretty sure.
So much worse.
I don't think at this point it matters. The hair is destroyed. Like, when I'm done with this, I'm shaving it off. I would never dye this hair back. I would just shave it off. 100%.
Nebraska, Steve.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well, yeah. Well, it's destroyed. Okay.
Just try not blow drying it one day and see.
I already don't blow dry it some days, but the problem is it's harder to comb, and then it just, when I blow dry it, it's just nice and easy. It makes it all do its shit, and it's like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Good. Get fucked. Hold on 1 second.
Yep. All right, chat. Who's off the Benjamin? Anybody fader than a hoe? I got 5 words for you, okay, guys? Obliterated, 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 obliterated. Need I say more? Gosh, it's so easy to farm. Why am I so soy? Look, I'm trying to take back soy, okay? You gotta make soy cool again. Apologize to Stardust? No, that's exactly why I'm here, actually. When is Big Brain Podcast returning? Look, nobody wants panels, okay? Stop. You guys don't even know what you want. You guys are just lying. The panel scene's dead. Plus, I can't just feed off Destiny's clout anymore, okay? There'd be no point. Let's be real. Say big black streamers? Stop. You guys are baiting. We want panels, but there's no good panelists anymore. Yeah. Panels would be fun for like a month, and then you'd realize it's the same like 8 or 9 people every week, and then you'd be like, this is fucking dumb. Thoughts on Rem? Rem's pretty based. Rem's actually a big reason I actually started becoming a fan of Destiny, to be honest. It was like the philosophy debates back in like 2014-15 that kind of got me hooked. Remcell? I think Rem hates me now. I don't know. I think I implied he was autistic like once
Oh,
a
me?
couple years ago. No, Rem.
Oh.
It was a complete accident, by the way. Just saying.
Well, what's up? What do you want?
I have a couple of questions. Well, I guess here I have them listed down.
Have you ever played Factorio before?
Hell no. I'm not. No.
God damn it! I need somebody to appreciate my intricate series of trains and everything. But sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it looks cool. So do you think that exposing your audience to extremist views makes them more likely to adopt those views?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
This is never. Come on, you've definitely thought of this before.
Well, my hope would be, the answer would be no. That by exposing your audience to extremist views in a responsible environment, you basically have the ability to control for their reaction for it. right?
Yeah.
That's why I would advocate for, like, in colleges they should be exposed to extremist views, because then you have like the ability to, see it and deal with it in a controlled setting. Whereas if you don't, then when you're exposed to it in real life, you might be like, wait, holy shit, I've never heard this before, but these guys are making some true points,
Would you say that like the responsible part is would hit, like, whether or not your audience is likely to adopt those views hinges on the responsible part? Like, if you're not taking certain steps to be responsible about the way you're platforming, then you're more likely to have your audience adopt those views?
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah.
So, like, what are some steps that you would say is necessary? Like, if you were to basically invite somebody on to talk about, whatever the fuck, and you knew that they were like, they held some extremist views, what are some steps that you would take to make sure that, you were responsibly platforming them?
I mean, it would depend on the view, but I mean, I guess the goal would be to make sure that you're having, like, you're providing pushback, or if you believe that something is incorrect, that you can explain why in a compelling manner, like why a particular thing is incorrect.
Do you think that you can do so without coming across as soy? Necessarily?
Yeah, but it just depends on the topic, and it depends on if you're soy or not, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah, I think I would largely agree with that. How would you deal with somebody that, like, denied any sort of responsibility when it comes to having to responsibly platform somebody? Like,
I mean, I don't know. It seems like most people just don't give a fuck about that type of stuff anymore. So, I mean, I usually just call them stupid and bully them. I don't know. It's frustrating, but it seems like there's a lot of people that believe that, right? Why?
I've been getting in, like, a little bit of a drama. Well, not drama, just like a big disagreement with Stardust over her platforming of people like Richard Spencer.
Why do you think does she not provide adequate pushback?
Have you seen any of her interviews with him?
Nope.
Yeah, it's basically just like a hug box. She basically invites him on, will give him prompted questions, and then just hands him the megaphone with, like, literally zero pushback on anything, to the point where he's literally able to go on, like, multiple rants, or like, he's literally espousing his new, like, Apolloism ideology, which is just a very, like, more digestible, anti-Semitic, right-wing extremist ideology. And it's been very frustrating to get her to accept that she has any sort of responsibility in providing any amount of pushback, because she thinks that it's impossible for her audience to get radicalized to any degree.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would probably disagree with that.
How would you demonstrate that? Like, what would be the argument against that? Like, how? I don't know.
She thinks that her audience can never get radicalized, or?
Yeah, she basically says, like, well, my audience knows my views, so they're, just having some guy on isn't going to be enough to have them, like, adopt their views or whatever, right? And I tried to explain, like, radicalization doesn't happen over the course of one conversation, right? It's something it's like boiling a frog. It happens over a long period of time. You have to sort of be primed for something to be radicalized, and having conversations where somebody's espousing dangerous ideas with no pushback can very much, like, plant that seed and prime somebody towards being radicalized even more in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, it sounds like I would probably disagree with her too, then. But I mean, what do you want me to say? Like,
I'm trying to think of a line of questioning that would, like, make somebody accept that, like, oh yeah, actually, like, my audience would be susceptible, and I do have a responsibility to, provide pushback, I guess.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it, I guess. I mean, like, it seems kind of self-evident to me. Oh shit, who joined?
Right.
Wait, who just joined?
Oh, Counterpoints.
Oh,
Hey,
Counterpoints. Hold on. Why the fuck can't I add a stop to this? Add station. Orbit. Rough. What the fuck is happening with this? Novice. Rough data. Delete. Add. Orbit. Rough.
In Mind Waves, I am coming on to give you a little bit of pushback.
Uh-oh.
That's fine.
But I also wanted you to finish your line of questioning.
No, I finish it. Go for it. Push back against him.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Listen, dude, you can't, like, the leftists have fucking killed. You were talking about how, like, we can't bring back the panel space. It's because leftists have fucking killed it.
Ooh.
You killed it. You destroyed it with this whole, like, you can't talk to this person because they're problematic, blah, blah. Like, and by the way, like, Richard Spencer's a piece of shit. But what you're talking about is a dude who is reviled by pretty much the entire planet, who has a niche neo-pagan ideology that, like, barely anybody is going to believe in. And basically, you're talking about, like, a lefty progressive person taking their audience and dragging them in order to have weird, fucked up conversations. Like, I'm not fully with the Chud logic philosophy that it's just content and nobody can be radicalized or whatever. But I think, like, the chances of, like,
all of my trains, their train stops got fucked up.
A terrorist because they were exposed to Richard Spencer's neo-pagan fucking religion is next to zero. And also on top of that, like, what are we just supposed to do? So we're just supposed to take, like, shitty ideas and just ignore them forever? Because that's what we've been doing for the past fucking half decade. And look where that's fucking gotten you. Literally, all the shitty ideas are still here.
All right, you're at like an 11. I'm gonna need you to dial it down to like an 8. Okay.
This is me at like a 6.
All right, I'm just trolling. No, but this is very frustrating because I constantly get this straw man of my argument, right?
Oh, straw man.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust out all the debate terms, okay?
Logical fallacy. What aboutism?
It's the fact that, like, at no point have I ever said that you can't platform Richard Spencer or anybody like that. My whole point is that you can't do so while also not providing pushback when he's, like, literally engaging in dangerous rhetoric.
But we should expect different things out of different creators. So for instance, the reason why everybody and their fucking mom goes to, like, oh, Destiny is like a good debater, therefore he should be the only person who fucking talks to him. Well, the rest of us gotta fucking eat too, you know? We gotta make fucking content, and some of us are interested in fucking politics. So Star, like you can say it's irresponsible. I'll even agree with you to a certain extent if I just watch it where Richard's like, oh yeah, I love neo-Nazism and neo-paganism. Like, I'll agree with you, but also, like, what is the harm that you think that Star is engaging in? Like, actually, can you articulate the harm?
Yeah, she's priming her audience to be radicalized.
Okay, so you think that, like, a bunch of, like, Twitch lefties and progressives who follow Star, because they are, like, shitposty progressives, are going to be radicalized by Richard Spencer into doing what?
Into believing even more, like, extremist views.
Okay, so which ones?
Particularly, like, any anti-Semitic view, right? That's like the whole crux of his ideology.
Okay, but anti-Semitism is like that's in the water supply at this point. Like Kanye West and fucking Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, that would be an argument to push back even more.
30 times more the damage.
Yeah, but then you're saying that, like, well, just because this is a bigger issue, this isn't an issue at all.
No. Actually, what I'm saying is I expect, like, certain levels of harm to be done by certain people, and you're, like, preoccupying yourself with, you know, what Star's doing. And basically, like, rather than, this is my perception, okay? And I'll be at an 8. My perception is you're coming here because, you know, Daddy Destiny basically does preside over the Twitch, YouTube political debate scene. And the reason why is because we're subtly talking shit to put, like, social pressure on Stardust to be a better platformer. But also what could happen is if you're like, hey, Star, going forward, basically this, and this, I think this is the research. I know you're not a debater, but these are the skill sets that I want to work on you with, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas some of this just comes across as, like, whining. And again, like, I'll kind of, if you want to tangent at this point, because I don't want to loop, like, this is why Twitch politics is dead.
I don't care about Twitch politics being dead, first of all. So like, who cares? But like the thing is that
Some
how
of
am
us
I?
do.
Okay, well that's cool. But like, how am I going to sit and like tell somebody like, hey, here's my tips for better responsibly platforming Richard Spencer when they don't even own up to the fact that they have a responsibility and have literally said that even if their audience does get radicalized, they literally do not give a single fuck.
Well, then, I mean, I guess that's not a person who shares your moral system, and therefore you should engage with them less, and that's about it.
But that's the thing, is that I don't want to do that, right? I do like Stardust. I think that, like, you know, I think she's really cool. I like her content. I want to be able to convince her that, hey, this is a problem. You do have a responsibility. Your audience can be radicalized, right? And I have to get there before I can even give her very specific critiques with like timestamps and, hey, you could have said this here.
Well, okay, but then you have to appeal to somebody's motivated reasoning. So for instance, like, I would say Star is more along the lines of Chud Logic, where she's like, I don't give a fuck what kind of conversations I have, as long as they're good content, they're interesting, they help like further discourse, positive or negative. I don't give a shit. I'm not that talented to figure out positive or negative. So if you're like, hey, like, I think this would actually be better content, and I think that like this would, you know, help you fight whatever, that would go over a lot smoother than, hey, you know, lefty fucking finger wag, I think you're bad. Like, and by the way, like, so this is like motivated reasoning 101 is exactly what's going on, where I've heard it from Chud, I've heard it from Star, I've heard it from a whole bunch of other people, including myself. I'm kind of done giving a fuck about like the lefty fucking political sensibilities, because the truth is your shit hasn't worked. For the past fucking like half decade, this whole like responsible platforming discourse, we've had it 10,000 fucking times. And where are we now? Anti-Semitism is fucking mainstream. The alt-right or Christian nationalist discourse is mainstream. Nick Fuentes is a fucking household name. Twitter has been like Uno reverse carded by you know, fucking Richard Spencer, and they basically showed that they were doing shadow banning. All of this shit that, like, you know, you were supposedly stopping with the deplatforming or responsible platforming rhetoric, it's dead.
So do you think it's all for naught? Like
Yeah.
you just shouldn't give a fuck about responsibly platforming then at that point?
Oh, I think liberalism is the way to go, friend. I think fucking like individual
Well, okay, let's.
responsibilities
I'll
and
meet you where you're at
conversation.
then,
And
right?
the cringe. Sorry, last point. Cringe marketplace of ideas is where we need to be.
I agree
next
with
time, you. Well, next time a fucking leftist like Vosh or fucking Demon Mama is like, oh, the marketplace of ideas, you go, yeah, the marketplace of ideas, because the truth is this whole fucking deplatforming shit hasn't worked.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? But this again, you keep on wanting to put me in this box of like somebody that is sorting out and going, you can't platform these people, which you're right. We have been having these conversations about like responsible platforming, but unfortunately, the way that those conversations are always framed, especially in this space, is people on the left sorting the fuck out about, oh my god, you platformed this person, you can't platform this person, this is irresponsible just because you fucking platformed this person. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't platform these people. I very clearly said you can pretty much platform whoever. You could platform Hitler today if you fucking revived him, all right? But you got to be able to do it responsibly and push back.
Okay.
When
do
he
you
starts,
think that you could do it responsibly? Do you think you could have a responsible conversation with Richard Spencer?
you know what? To be honest, I'm not sure, and that's why, if I'm being real, I don't think I would, right? But I know for a fact I could do more than nothing, which is what Stardust did.
All right. Do you want me to set it up? Do you want to see if you can do better?
Ooh.
No, I don't
Call
actually.
out. Uh-oh.
Like, all right.
Are you gonna let him call you the fuck out like that?
Well, that's fine, because like if all you have is like, oh well, you can't do it, then that's fine. I'll just bite that bullet. But like that's never been my point. My point has never been to come in here and be like, I could do this better.
No, okay. So my point, and I'm coming in a little hot or whatever. My point is like I think you don't care about Twitch politics being dead. Some of us do. So like YouTube and Twitch politics used to be this like super vibrant fucking debate space where a lot of crazy fuck you, it wasn't. I was on the fucking Hippy Dippy. I was on fucking Prime. And
Dude, I was on I literally made the panel scene. Okay, I know.
Shit, you're the person who was responsible for making it what it was, and to see you shitting on it is sad.
It's look, you need to get over it. All right, stop looking at Twitch politics with rose-tinted goggles. Okay, it's never gonna go back to what it was. Twitch doesn't want that type of content on their platform. Being that type of creator in this space,
about the platform, I'm talking about the community of debaters who made it what it was. I don't care if it's on Twitch. I don't care if it's on YouTube. I don't care if it's on Odyssey. There could be a political community that debates the shit left, right, and center. And if anything,
sure,
like, I would use the fact like Destiny's popularity has fucking skyrocketed. I would use that as evidence, basically saying that this could be more mainstream than it once. Fucking Adam22, who as far as I know is a fucking chill bro podcaster porn star. He watches fucking Twitch, YouTube political autist debate. You know, look, there's more mainstream crossover than people want to give it credit for.
Sure, I love the community. I do, right? When we're talking about like, you know, this group of creators in this space, I do care about it, right? This is why it feels very frustrating to see somebody like Star engage in this sort of behavior, because I think it sets a bad precedent for people in this space. And this is not to say that, like, again, I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, you can't platform these people, but like, if we're gonna hold ourselves up as debate streamers, then why the fuck are you going to bring somebody on like Richard Spencer and not debate them? Like,
well, because I don't think Star does think herself as a debate streamer. She hangs out with debate streamers because it's good content, because fighting, blood sports, all that kind of shit. Like that's, you know, it's fun, it's interesting, it's weird. Like that it's more like you know, like a fucking white female loving serial killer content, you know? Whereas I would say what could be a potentially good conversation is, hey Star, like I think that, you know, this is kind of bullshit, blah blah blah, but I'll help you set this up. And that's where if I'm misinterpreting your hostility to the space or whatever, I'm sorry. But when I hear you say like, oh, actually Twitch politics was cringe, it wasn't that great of a place. I do like the creators, but I don't like, you know, whatever the scene was or whatever. It does feel like sour grapes. That's what it feels like.
That's fine.
Well, is it sour grapes, or am I just misunderstanding you?
I think you are, or maybe I misspoke or came across the wrong way. Like I do care about the community largely, but the thing is that like everybody wants the scene to be what it was like a couple of years ago, and it's just never going back. So like, you know,
why do you say that? Like there's no way that we can get 6 interesting, relatively intelligent people in a room in order to yell at each other about current events. That's not possible. It's not possible for it to be interesting. We have to have Vosh and Destiny fucking babysit us at every fucking turn.
Don't worry, I'll get unbanned one day. I'm coming back, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
the thing is that I think for a panel scene to like thrive like that, if that's what we're talking about, if we're talking about a panel scene, if that's what you want, you have to have it be more than just these politics debaters. I think that you have to appeal to a more normie audience as well, and get other people on and involved in these sorts of panels, right? I think this is why something like Raj Royale was like much more sustainable than something like the Hippy Dippy or the Big Brain podcast.
What, because we had fucking normies in there too?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the majority of Twitch viewership, right?
But that's like a tweak. That's like a really small tweak.
Yeah, that's why I've been considering bringing something like that back.
You guys
but if
should
I did
shame
it
the
would...
other fucking people that grew off of the space and then fucking abandoned it completely. I think Denims and Mike should be getting
can we
a
call
lot
her
of...
a piece of shit real quick?
Yeah, you guys should be shaming the fuck out of those two, because those two largely grew out of those spaces, and as soon as they could, now they just suck on the Hassan teat, and then they completely neglect everything else.
I almost regret having her on so many podcasts. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
no. You can't tell who's gonna be parasitic and who's not gonna be parasitic. Like,
I know. I mean, like with hindsight, obviously, but like I wouldn't do it any differently if I went back, of course. But yeah.
Well, but that's kind of what I'm saying is, we got to respect what people are gonna do. which is that they'll try to parasitize the relevancy of everybody else on the room in order to fight. You know, we all kind of participate in the games of clout. But then basically, all right, I'll tell you what I'm frustrated with. The reason why I came in the room is because it does feel like there's a few people, and when I say Twitch politics, I don't mean specifically the platform, right? I just mean the community of political debaters who made that scene what it was.
Okay, yeah.
It seems like there's a few people who are keeping it on life support, except for the bigger creators, right? Vosh is always going to have an audience. Destiny's always going to have an audience. Denims apparently is going to fucking titty stream politics by herself, and that'll garner an audience. Those people are fine. We're not worried about them long-term sustainable.
Sure.
But what we're talking about is having large, medium, and small creators battle, because what's actually fun is seeing large creators come into the fucking battlefield and fuck up and get fucking dunked on by like small streamers and medium streamers. That's fucking hilarious. And so if we're going to build that space back, we're gonna need the people.
I know you
who are
hate Denims, but are you gonna let that fly?
online.
I mean, that's what she's doing. She does like Fansly and shit now. Yeah, and she like movie streams her way to politics. Like, yeah, unironically.
Supreme and like all that kind of shit. So we're gonna need them.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So if it seems like I'm reflexively defensive, it's just because I would prefer you saying like, I'm thinking about bringing it back. That seems like a lot of drama. I don't want it, but I would help out with the panel scene, and on top of that, I'll try to help.
It's not that I don't want the drama. It's just that like I want to make sure that if I'm going to do something, like commit myself to something like that it's more sustainable, right? If you notice, everybody that gets any amount of success in this scene usually tries to divert themselves into more normie content.
Because they're pussies. Yeah, got it.
Well, yeah, because it's very hard to sustain just pure debate content over an extended period, like, time. Like Destiny is like literally like one of the only people that's done it consistently.
Well, and can I call out Vosh on a big fucking platform real quick?
Oh, call out time.
I haven't done it yet. Shut the fuck up. So like one of my frustrations is he seems half in, half out. Where he's like,
no, he's fully in for the clout, and he's fully out for helping anybody but the clout. He's all the way in it, baby.
So you call him out harder than I can, because hopefully he'll get on the new panel scene, right? But the point being, like, okay, so he'll debate random schizos. He'll consider debaters with debates with bigger people, but he won't commit. And then basically it seems like he retreated into his own content, and there was the Fortress arc, and then it's like, okay guys, this was bad, I'm out of the Fortress arc, and then I'm gonna debate schizos again. And it's like, okay, that doesn't help the scene in any way. That helps, your own internal momentum.
I think it's unfortunately it's very you can't expect people to care about the overarching like scene, like the broader scene.
These are socialists and leftists. These are
yeah, I was gonna say, like,
communities.
If there's anybody ever that you're gonna expect to care about anything, shouldn't it be like fucking socialists? Like, shouldn't be? Because if you can't even get your socialists to care about your fucking local scenes, like, holy fuck, how the fuck is everybody else supposed to?
I mean, you would think, right? But like at the end of the day, there's streamers first and socialists second. Like we all know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, then you can't really have like
fucking pussy shit.
Yeah, you can't really have any expectations for society then at that point. Like it feels a little.
Oh, we just need to, guys.
Look,
we just need to change the systems. Don't expect me to create the systems or help out with the systems, but it's the systems, bro.
I wish we could, right? But like, I don't know. I'm just saying it's futile oftentimes. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying that, like, when you say futile, these are the best conditions ever. Where if you were a socialist, you would be expected to perform. You have almost unlimited money. You have very easy work. You have like 100% creative control over everything you do with no pressure from the outside. You have the ability to platform it. Like, this is like a dream scenario for anybody in this position. So to do nothing with it is like a little bit silly, I think. But
we could do a debate cooperative where we share the revenue from the streams, and even the small streamers get a large cut of the revenue from the new platform. Like, bro, that's the thing. It's like you could be as creative as you want to be, but this is actually like the thing that kind of pissed me off is the call out So the call out that Destiny recently did was like, oh, you charity stream, meaning that you funnel like a day's worth of your revenue into a fucking charity. Congratulations, bro. You're really changing the fucking system.
Sure. Which is, by the way, I think charity streams, I'll say it again, I think charity streams are fine.
Based.
Just don't
Yeah, they're
pretend,
based.
don't pretend that they aren't anything more than you just getting a number measure in your clout. That's what they really are. It requires no sacrifice from you. You grow your own clout off of it. And it lets you say when somebody's like, oh, how much clout do you have? Well, the last 24-hour donation stream I did, I have $150,000 worth of clout. That's the reason why they do it, right? Is because it's an easy way to. I don't know why
It's
you're
true.
laughing.
Does anybody
Yeah.
remember after was it the Serfs that did like a big charity stream, and then every fucking small quote unquote socialist streamer did a fucking charity stream every fucking week
Yeah,
and
of
just
course,
rode
yeah.
that wave forever?
Yeah, and it's
Well,
yeah,
you
you
gotta
laugh, but like
pace
literally,
yourself.
that's what it is. Like it's a way to be like, look, this is exactly how much clout I have. I can raise this much money on a charity stream, and like Vosh even literally said, somebody can find the clip, but Vosh literally said after or during one of his charity streams, like, hopefully after this, I'll be big enough for Hassan, or I'll raise enough money for Hassan to talk to me or something. He actually literally said that. I think it was during one of his Ukrainian dono drives or whatever.
I think he said larger creators to fuck with me.
Maybe he said larger creator. But that only
I'm
includes like it's
sure-
Vosh, right? So that's like
It's
two
like three
streamers.
people.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
either
it's like
me
three
or
people.
Hassan, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but see that's I'm okay with a certain level of this because I do think that quote unquote larger streamers, which is probably Hassan, it's probably Hassan or it's the fucking what's that like one podcast that rakes in like $250,000 every fucking month and it's all
Chapo
those
Trap
fucking-
House or
Yeah, Chapo. So yeah, so he's probably talking about those people where he's like, okay, like I have the pedo allegations, but I want people to fuck with me. So like, please fuck with me, guys. I think that's like a perfectly fine thing to do, particularly if like the goal or what could occur consequentially is that like there's more money for more causes and all that kind of shit. Like I'm perfectly okay with that.
Sure,
clout
but I
sharking
mean,
as
like,
long as
I'm
there's a
gonna
cause.
look at you differently, and I have every right to do this. I'm gonna look at you a certain way if every single thing that you do to like help other people also benefits yourself, and that is the case for these people. Like everything they do is always going to be on the road to self-enrichment.
Can I quote the late great Booksmarts? So what he told me, I was, I'm still not the biggest guy in the world, but I was like, hey, like I was kind of wondering, like, do I need to grow first in order to be able to do this shit? And he was like, no, I think that what you do when you're small is what you're gonna do when you're big. So
True.
if you have all these ambitions about what you're gonna do when you're big, what's gonna happen is you're constantly gonna be selling out your moral system in order to get big 1st, and as a result, you're, yeah, sure, you'll get big, but then you'll never do all your big, bright, bushy-tailed ideas in order to make the space better. So, for instance, actually, historical Twitch, YouTube callback, fucking one person calling out Mike from PA to be like, hey, bro, couldn't you do like, some local work shit? And he was like, well, I can't do
Lucid
that.
Fox.
Yeah,
I
like,
remember that stream.
yeah, I can't do that. That'll fuck with my metrics and my content. Well, no offense, but has Mike done, like, has he leveraged his contact and
No. He's never
has
done
he leveraged
anything
any
that
of that
isn't
shit into anything positive?
No, it's only whatever's for self-enrichment.
Which okay, but see, that's the thing is like, so at some point, okay, the mixed economy capitalist people, the soc dems and the social conservatives who care about like building strong social structures, they do things like they reach out to people, they try to do IRL engagement, they work. Some of them are wages, like myself. There's people who do things, and then there's people who talk about doing things. And when you constantly see the correlation between like leftists and not doing anything besides masturbating in front of a fucking camera, at what point do you say the leaders in this organization are fucking worthless?
Yeah, and
like,
that's
at
it's
what
all
point
of
do you have
them.
that correlation?
Yeah, it's literally all of them. So it's pretty frustrating.
Defend your people, mind waves.
There's no defending them. This is why I sort of separate myself from like the label of socialist, right? In this space, especially, it's fucking cringe.
Well, okay, so then I think the liberals and the centrists who didn't decide to be like Sargon level tradcons, I think they need to come back, and I include myself in that fucking label. Is like, We need to come back. We need to say, actually, the marketplace of ideas is the way to do it. The only way to combat dangerous ideas is to shit on them in public. We can have Overton window limits, and we can have some level of expectations out of our creators to be knowledgeable and dangerous from an efficiency standpoint when it comes to fanatics. But besides that, we're bringing it back to the cringe 2016 fucking everything free speech discourse shit.
I don't think that Mindwaves necessarily disagrees with you. He just feels like Stardust doesn't provide any pushback at all.
Right. I don't even feel like she's on the same page as you at this point, right? That these conversations need to happen, because she clearly made it seem like, you know, she's very much not interested in, or at least feels no responsibility to push back against any sort of ideas, and doesn't feel like her audience can be influenced by ideas.
Well, okay, so instinctively, okay, the reason why I want to defend Star here or whatever is because I feel like instinctively what's going on is that shit is a lot of work. And a lot of people have different IQs and acumens and all that kind of shit. I feel like Star's strength is bringing on a bunch of shit posters and assholes and having them scream at each other on her panel while she kind of chills in the background and then asks like a question every now and then. I feel like if you look
It's not really a skill though. Okay, like I mean that it's not, right? Like
the thing is that skill to be sociable enough to bring people together. That's a skill.
No, that's just being connected. Anybody can be connected, right? Like behind the scenes. That's fucking easy. Like
no. Push back. Dude, fucking President Sunday has bitten every single hand that's fucking fed him for the past like 6 months, and it's now a joke to like have a conversation with him, and basically within 5 minutes for him to act bored and be like, well, I got something to do, I gotta be somewhere real quick, and this conversation is beneath me.
Sure,
so,
but like my point is that like the thing is that if that's your goal is to, you know, invite a bunch of people on and sort of chill and have them engage in you know, whatever. I know this. I've done this, right? Like being a moderator, hosting like the Big Brain podcast. This is what I did. The thing is that you have to have some sort of control over the conversation. You have to have the skill to be able to direct the conversation in a way that's both interesting, first of all, and second of all, you know, like, I guess responsible as well.
Hey, Connor, clarifying question.
Ooh. Sure.
Who are you talking about when you said some people have different IQs?
I was talking about Stardust. She's dumb as fuck.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding.
Wanted to get that
I'm kidding.
Oh, you're kidding.
All right, no.
Okay, then
no,
who?
I do love Star. No, like I do think there are people with different fucking IQs. So for instance, I think that
are you saying the audience watching, like?
Oh yeah,
or
they're
are you
dumb
saying
as fuck.
certain creators?
Yes.
Okay.
And creators. No, and
you should always treat the chatters like they're dumb. Always.
Yeah. Well, so hold on. Let me not walk back, but let me de-meme my meme, okay? I love Star, but she's obviously like, hey, I don't want to fucking research all this shit. I don't want to go into this shit. I just want to shitpost. I want to meme. I think that Chud does that shit too. And then I also think that IQ can be like a double-edged sword, where President Sunday, I've seen some of his pre-recorded content that had like Christian apologism in it. He is actually like, he actually has a pretty good academic, like research breakdown, bullet point support, like all of that kind of stuff, which would normally be indicative of a high IQ, but his fucking like his EQ is dog shit. Like he just has like no like social understanding of the people around him at all, which is funny. But that's kind of like
his content could be plagiarism, right? Because if anytime you interact with someone, they're a dumb fuck. But then when they have like
well, now it sounds
content,
like now it sounds like you're calling
him.
Well, now it sounds like you're calling him stupid. So you know.
Oh yeah, no, I've already decided President Sunday is like a joke.
Ooh.
Oh, that's sad.
Figured that way.
Well,
I give him all the charity in the beginning, so it can't be like I didn't try.
Okay, well, I would still be interested in having a high IQ conversation with him if he wasn't like an uncharitable cunt who was acting like he was bored within the first 5 seconds of talking to me.
That high IQ convo might have to happen in your dreams.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But the point is like, Mindwave said that there isn't a skill set to just bringing people together. I think.
Okay, I'll walk that back. Okay, I'll bite that bullet. I'll take the L on that one. It is okay. It is a skill set to be able to organize conversations, invite people, maintain relationships and connections behind the scenes for sure. But like once you're actually on stream, that is all sort of out the window, right? Like chat doesn't really see that.
Well, okay, so let me point out what I think Star is probably doing, or at least I think she's doing, is she's trying to maintain enough of a positive relationship with the far right, because let's face it, they drive a lot of discourse, et cetera,
Yeah.
and everybody else takes a massive shit on them. Like, I'm pretty sure Apolloism, like neo-paganism, that's already a meme in the far right circles where like this is like cringe, it's not going anywhere, this is fucking cope. Basically, Richard Spencer saw he saw the organization. This is my guess, by the way, without talking to him.
For sure.
He saw the organization of the Christian nationalists, where who?
What?
Sorry, maybe it's in my game. I heard somebody say, "What you gonna do about it?"
Wait, what are you playing?
I'm playing Dark Tide.
Can people talk in that game?
Yeah, they have mics.
Then that's probably where it came from.
Okay, my bad. So the fucking Richard Spencer. So he saw the organization of the Christian nationalists, and he was like, "Oh shit! Like it's not enough to just have people like vaguely organized around ethnos." Because let's face it, there's like degenerate white people, and there's civic nationalist white people, and there's liberal white people. So that's not enough to organize people. So as a result, we need to organize better, and religion is foundational. It offers philosophy and morality and all that kind of shit. So yeah, so basically that would be my thing, is he's probably copycatting people. But outside of his little circle, he's getting massively shit on. Like,
well,
all
yeah,
the
of course, because all of his bridges. This is what I was talking about before. Is that all of his bridges with the right wing have been burned, right? And this is exactly why he's
Milo
looking to
copied
go.
his haircut for a meme.
Yeah, and this is exactly why he's going to audiences like Stardust to have these conversations. Is because he doesn't have. He even said so. And did you watch the second interview that she had with Richard Spencer?
I did not, and here's where you could fucking own me, is if there was like a whole bunch of times where he's like, "Yeah, Stardust, I'm using you in order to get to the normies. I fucking
Yes,
love Cloud."
he did say that basically. So she essentially asked him like, "Hey, like why are you interested in having these sorts of conversations?" And he said, "Well, you know, basically that he is looking to gain an audience, and he specifically comes to spaces like these because he doesn't have any spaces on the right to like he's not welcome on the right."
Ooh,
and
kill shot to Connor's entire thesis.
And that's the thing as well, is that like I don't think she did so intentionally, but she did lie to me in that conversation where she said that, well, no, he's not trying to gain an audience. But in the conversation that she had with him, she literally asked him if that's what he was doing, and he said, "Yes, that is what I'm doing. Not only am I doing that, but I'm coming to spaces like this because I can't go to the right." And it's like, well, I don't know why you would ever tell me that. Like, she says she just misspoke or whatever, but like, I don't know. That feels very hard to believe.
Well, okay, but then I guess this is where maybe Star and I, and maybe Chud and a few other people were willing to take on bigger risks than maybe lefties are. Because, so for instance, like, I think that, you know, having these ideas talked about out loud, whether it's like Apolloism, anti-Semitism, Christian nationalism, Christian nationalist anti-Semitism, I think these are all conversations worth having. And I know that you've already said, like, you can responsibly platform, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But basically, we would rather take the risk and fuck it up than not take the risk at all. And part of that is self-serving, where
Well,
it's like
the thing is that
money and the clout and the attention.
Just
Sorry,
to
go ahead.
interject real quick, is that like, yeah, you can take that risk and fuck up, but the thing is that like she wasn't even trying. You know, you can't fuck up when you're not trying in the first place. Is the whole point that I've been trying to make, is that like at no point I watched the second and the third interview multiple times, specifically looking for any point where she was trying to provide pushback, or do anything other than just hand him the give him a prompted question and hand him the microphone. And those instances just never came up, unfortunately, right? And when that's the case, I can't entertain the idea that you were even trying to begin with.
But trying for what? I think that's probably the main problem, is like the moral motivations. So Star thinks that or at least putting words in her mouth without actually talking to her about it. So Star believes that like these conversations are worth having, even if they're not debates or pushbacks or whatever. So these conversations by themselves are worthwhile.
Well, her own stated goal was just to get his perspective on the state of like right-wing, like politics or whatever.
Which it's time, right? Like,
yeah, and I think that's
growing,
a fair.
Kanye,
yeah, I think that's a fair goal to
leaving him
have,
behind.
for sure. But like, you don't have to. The thing is, you can interview somebody and still be able to provide a good amount of like pushback when they start like engaging in dangerous rhetoric, or at least have the wherewithal to know when to sort of take the mic away from them, or like move the conversation away from a subject that is too controversial, or maybe just a conversation that you don't feel like you want to get into, or you don't want to be combative against, right? And that's the thing, is that like she basically let him espouse his Apolloism and other anti-Semitic views unchallenged, didn't take control over the conversation, sat there and went, yeah, the whole time while he was basically saying all this stuff, which gives the appearance of agreement to the audience, whether or not that was her intention. And yeah, that's the sort of that's the issue I have with it. There is a way to have these sorts of interviews with problematic figures and not necessarily come across as soy or combative, and still be able to.
Like, as a matter of fact, could you articulate how? So for instance, like I've heard Star say this before, so I'll repeat it for her. Part of her purpose being in right-wing circles all the time is because like her existence alone as a charitable interviewer who gives people a little bit of razzing but doesn't soy out, that caused, at least according to her, and I think based off of research, that causes some level of cognitive dissonance, where it's like, oh, well, I hate these, stupid, Pakistani Muslims, but Star's pretty cool, and, she immigrated to the United States, and she's around me, and I feel like we would be friends if we knew each other. Like, that by itself is going to cause a level of cognitive dissonance in ethno-nationalists. So, I guess, how would you charitably interview to the point, because this is the point, is maintaining a relationship. How would you charitably interview Richard Spencer to the point that you could maintain a relationship while not allowing them to quote unquote get away with being a piece of shit?
Just when they start engaging in certain rhetorics, you can ask clarifying questions, like get them to, sort of. Richard Spencer does the thing where he talks in masked language oftentimes, right? He'll say something or he'll allude to something without necessarily saying it up front, right? And the more you ask questions about like, okay, well, what are you saying when you say this? The more you're opening him up to revealing what his true like intentions are, what he's really trying to get at. That is something that you can do.
If you don't even hear the dog whistle, how are you going to call out the dog whistle?
Then you shouldn't have that conversation. You're not equipped, right? That's been part of my argument.
The only person on Twitch and YouTube politics who could have a conversation because he has.
Well, if that's the case, then that's the case, right? But if you're going to say that,
it's not.
It is. If you're going to say that Stardust doesn't have that skill set, then she just shouldn't be having these conversations.
Is the issue that she doesn't have the skill set, or that she didn't make a sincere attempt?
Well, it's either or. I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna lean more towards like it doesn't seem like she's willing to.
Well, yeah, to me that's substantively different from her making a sincere attempt and just not having the skills that are commensurate to it. But
yeah, but effectively it's the same outcome, right? So I don't care which one it is.
I'm sure you would sooner respect somebody. I'm sure you would sooner respect somebody who at least attempts to challenge an ethno-nationalist or a white nationalist and just fails to do so because they don't have either the rhetorical.
Well, sure, at least they made the attempt, and then I would tell that person like, "Hey, you need to work on this, or maybe reconsider if you're actually going to engage in this content." Right? But if you don't even make the effort, that's much worse.
Right? To me, yes, I agree. Well, hang on, real quick counterpoints. I was listening here, and I got to ask you to clarify something here because your position on platforming versus deplatforming versus responsibly platforming, I'm kind of confused, because on the one hand, you made it sound like responsibly platforming is useless because I think you used the example of like Nick Fuentes and Ye and just the rise of anti-Semitism as an example of, hey, deplatforming and responsibly platforming, these attempts ultimately, bear nothing out because anti-Semitism is still so prominent. Look at how prominent these two figures are in particular.
Real quick, I just want to insert in here just a really quick daily shout out that there's a guy called FD Signifier, and I think he has a sub-zero IQ. Go ahead, finish your thing.
That's racist. Where's Kai Cenat?
Oh, God.
So, all right, hold on. So yeah, let me clarify real quick. Basically, we've had on Twitch poll, and it was so annoying. Like basically always having to like walk on eggshells for this bullshit. We've had more conversations about responsible platforming than we've had responsible platforming. So that so basically my frustration is this is a cycle that I've seen over and over again. Controversial comes up, or controversial figure comes up. It's Lauren Southern, it's Nick Fuentes, it's fucking Richard Spencer, it's an ethno-nat, a Christian nat, it's a fucking Professor Flowers, it's somebody like that. And then the discourse is never, what's the substance of their ideas? Why are they wrong? How do we prove that they're wrong? And also, like, even if they're right, what does this say about the world? That's an infinitely, like, more interesting conversation to have than, can we even talk to this person? And we spend, like I swear to God, like 80% of the energy in like leftist and liberal progressive spaces is about whether or not you can even have the conversation instead of having the conversation. So,
can I just one more time like get you to clarify? Sure. Do you think that is where I'm coming from though?
Not necessarily, because you said that like as long as Star like put in effort and she was responsibly platforming and she was putting in like eloquent pushback, you wouldn't have anywhere near as much of a problem with it, which like I'm cool with. But that's where I would rather see you talking about solutions than problems, where you're like, hey, here's all the problems with what I believe Star did. Here's
well, like, before honestly, you provide a solution, you have to recognize the problem, right?
Sure, but dude, I'm so sick of that. This is like Annalisa, where she's like, oh, black men are all the problems, and they're like, oh, well, what would you do to improve black society? And she's like, why do I have to come up with solutions? Like, dude, if you're gonna point out problems, point them out as long as the day is long. But
like, I can't get there until somebody recognizes the problems, or providing solutions is pointless when they don't think there is a problem.
So I recognize the problem. I think it's a small problem, but I think it's a real problem. Star is irresponsibly platforming people who are pieces of shit who have indirectly caused homicides through stochastic terrorism. All right, let's acknowledge the problem. Now what?
Well, now I would literally this is what I'm working on right now, is actually providing timestamps in multiple interviews that she's had where she's let him engage in rhetoric with no pushback, and basically providing examples of like, hey, you can push back in these sorts of ways, or not necessarily even providing pushback, but also controlling the conversation, right? Those are basically your two biggest options. You can either decide to control the conversation and steer it the way you want it to if it starts to become problematic, right? Or provide pushback. That's really all you can do.
Okay, that sounds like great content, and my only pushback to what you said is different people are going to have different levels for what's problematic. Because basically for me, my main concern with the far right is the race realism. Like I'm like a like a civic nationalist. I think that as long as you subscribe to like a certain
be
level
careful.
No. I've already owned this enough in public to actually like.
There was a time period, it's probably like 6 years
were
ago.
calling themselves civics.
Yeah, and they finally realized, like, actually, I used to be civic nationalist, and now I realize I'm truly just an ethno-nationalist. Just be careful in that shit. I got traumatized listening to, Lauren used to do this a lot, other people, I don't know if she still does this, but, like, whenever I would hear somebody say Western values, that was always, like, a dog whistle for white values. And a lot of the quote-unquote civic nationalists used to do that, so just be careful with that one.
And
I think Connor would more lean into, like, liberal values specifically, right?
If you're doing the capital L, not like the Democrat Party as it presently exists, but actually
classical
like
liberalism, like the philosophy behind it, yeah.
Well, in that, to be honest, this is like a massive problem with like what's happened for the online right over the past half decade is a lot of people like me, we believe the dog whistles not as dog whistles, but as like genuine statements of like principle and value. And then like a lot of creators were saying them as dog whistles. And then even more creators, I think what happened was audience capture. Like if I had to guess, I think that Sargon of Akkad, he basically would be like victim of audience capture. And so like I think that he basically fell into the not fully ethnonat, but kind of ethnonat shit. Because that's just where his audience drifted. That's my suspicion.
Well, so not to interrupt again, but Connor, and I appreciate you clarifying somewhat, but the reason
you're still sick. I'm
oh,
sorry.
dude, yeah. We all are, man. Like
Yeah.
we're.
My
I
bad,
think
I'm sorry.
Sejin said he was finally getting out of it,
Yeah.
but
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
the rest of us are fucked.
I caught it too. Not
Are you
from
sick
Georgia.
too? Oh, okay.
Just to be clear,
But
apparently
whatever's
there
going
were probably a
around,
lot
I
of
caught.
different sick people. It wasn't all me. You guys aren't all infected with my virus. Just letting you know, okay? Don't worry.
No,
Go ahead.
DGG virus.
If you looked at the server, I mean, a gazillion people. There's no telling how many people. Some tested positive for COVID. Others had the flu.
Oh, I heard
Yeah,
that
mean,
too. A lot of yeah. I need to get that. Have you any of you gotten that bivariate or whatever fucking vaccine yet?
No.
Wow.
No.
I'm gonna see if your heart pops first, and then I'll get it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do that with every single vaccine coming out for the rest of mankind.
Yeah, at least until we figure out this whole depopulation thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh God. All right. So listen. So the platforming thing you clarified a bit, but the examples you provided for Fuentes and Ye, I feel like we got to address those for a second, because the prominence that they're enjoying right now is in part because of irresponsible platforming. So Fuentes was a guest of a former president of the United States, the leader of the Republican Party. That's an irresponsible level of platforming. His name, wait a minute, hang on. His name is all over the mainstream media as a result. He's been signal boosted immensely.
Wait.
because
I
of
just
his
want to
proximity to
clarify real
power.
quick. When we talk about responsible or irresponsible platforming, we can only truly talk about liberal platforms, because we know that conservatives aren't going to responsibly
give a
platform. So I don't know if we can say that like Fuentes was signal boosted because Donald Trump irresponsibly platformed. Like we're not going to be able to hold.
Well, it's
like,
both. It's both, right? It wasn't just the dinner; it was also the coverage surrounding the dinner, right? My point is, it wasn't like Connor made it sound like Fuentes is popular, despite the fact that the left tried to shove Fuentes in a closet. But
yeah,
that's
but I
not
mean,
actually
like, but it sounds like at this point we're like taking a boat out to sea with like 1 million holes in it, and then hoping that we can like seal every single one. Like, I don't think it's realistic to say you're gonna keep, because fucking Fuentes was no-fly listed at one point. He's banned from like 5 banks. He's banned on every single social media
You
platform.
don't get more canceled than
Like, yeah, but
No,
if he's
well,
still managing to find
without
ways
being
that he can like
assassinated.
leak through, then it's like, okay, well, the strategy is probably not working, I would say.
Well, I don't think anyone would claim
free
that
society.
canceling or deplatforming is fully comprehensive, because it would require buy-in from every major
everybody.
I think.
Yeah.
I
But-
think
but my point is, I don't
sorry,
think it's-
just quick counterpoint. So I think up until Elon.
Unintended.
No, I think up until Elon bought Twitter, lefties were doing a good job.
Mm.
Like seriously. No, I'm
What do you
saying
mean by
like
good job?
Like Alex Jones was largely off the air, not growing as fast as he was.
Right,
Fuentes
Milo
was as canceled as he
Yiannopoulos.
could
Right.
be.
No,
So that's where I'm confused.
Chill. We're
Wait a
doing a
minute.
lot of
You know
random
what
things
you
here.
didn't count
Milo
on?
canceled himself. Chill on that one. Milo destroyed himself. But go ahead.
But it's still canceling. So my point is this. Here's my point. So you do concede that deplatforming can work.
It can be effective.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but
you
but
made it sound
not
like
in a
it
free
doesn't.
Society. But
You
not
made
in a
it sound
free
like it
society.
doesn't
If you guys
earlier.
want to do yeah, but if you guys want to go the CCP route and just control the internet completely, yeah, sure. We can deplatform.
I don't
But
know.
think
I
of,
mean,
like,
I
a
wasn't here for the whole
liberal- I don't think a
conversation.
liberal
I don't know if
society you can.
Mindwaves was advocating for that, but
Well,
I'm certain
this is where I'm at, right? Like with somebody with like Richard Spencer, when they're already sort of irrelevant, I feel like that would be the perfect place to keep them, right? Is in irrelevance. Why would you then open up your platform and give them the platform to like allow them to like push themselves back into relevance?
Because it's fun, and then two, because he's representative of a broader idea set, and he's one of the best rhetoricians of that idea set. So you can say like Apolloism or neo-paganism or whatever, you can say that's pretty irrelevant. You can say that ethno-nationalism is pretty irrelevant. You can say that the alt-right is in disarray since Charlottesville, like all that kind of shit. But basically, you have to admit that there's at least a few 100,000 ethno-nationalist rightoids who are willing to fund and push and commit violence on behalf of ethno-nationalism. And he is a representative of that idea, even if that, I don't know, caucus doesn't like take him seriously anymore.
So if you were to say that, like, okay, I'll ignore the content comment, because obviously, yeah, it's content, but I don't think that's good enough reason, right? But like, I think the other reason here is that, like, oh, well, he provides some sort of insight into these right-wing spaces or whatever, right? And the thing is that I've watched those interviews with him. I actually don't even think that is the case. I'd never, at any point in that conversation, did I think that, like, oh, shit, Richard Spencer is giving a very unique insight into these right-wing spaces. All of the shit he said is just, like, shit that like is very apparent already, like that we already knew. I really don't think that there was much value there.
Well, then you would be guilty of like the Vosh strategy, where it's like, okay, I will give air to these ideas, but I will only allow the most schizophrenic, shitty avatars of this ideology to voice them. And then at that point, you're just dealing with like, I would say the I don't want to say the straw mans, but you're dealing with like the weakest versions.
Sure, but
of these ideologies.
What value do you get from putting like? Yeah, but what value do you get by putting like the best rhetorician, like opposition, on your platform and then not pushing back on them? Like, you know, like.
Okay, so I'll just be brutal. I don't know. I love.
He's gonna be brutal.
We're best friends.
Here it
We're
comes.
Dark Tide buddies. We're Dark Tide buddies.
But
I don't know if Star has that skill set or is interested in cultivating that skill set. So you can call it bad. You can call that bad, and like I'll accept that on a scale of 0 to 10 harm, it's a 1, and you might think it's a 6. But that's where I don't know. For me, it's just compared to what's already in the American zeitgeist. Star's level of harm or giving Spencer relevancy is pretty low.
Jesus, dude.
Well, what? Compared to fucking Trump or Ye or Fuentes?
It was just fucking brutal, dude.
Okay.
You just don't think she can do it.
No.
Well, the thing is, I think she could.
Glory, she can.
If she wanted to, I think she could. Well, yeah, but like. The thing is that like I wish she even cared to, is the first thing, and it's like that's where I'm at. Is like I don't know how to make somebody care about that in the first place, especially when they think that their audience is somehow uniquely immune to being radicalized or primed to radicalization in any way.
Okay, but so I'll just share, because I've seen the burnout from Chud, I've seen the burnout from Star, I have the burnout myself. What it feels like is there was a certain level of people who were within the Overton window who were willing to play the Twitch politics Overton window game, where we knew that the Overton window wasn't actually what was represented on Twitch politics, but in order to go on Prime or Hippy Dippy or whatever, we decided to either like couch our rhetoric or couch our viewpoints within like the acceptable discourse so we could continue to be a part of the conversation. That's not necessarily a problem, but it was mildly annoying.
Damn.
And what's happened is we've had these breakthroughs in the discourse with Kanye, Nick, fucking Milo for a brief second, Lauren, all that kind of stuff. And the truth is that the world is a lot bigger than the Twitch and YouTube political space. So you can either like get into the fight or you can become irrelevant. And right now, all the people who are saying like, oh, you know, we shouldn't be platforming this stuff, they're becoming irrelevant because the people who are having the conversations are now ignoring them.
Oof.
Like we don't care anymore.
Jeez. What about platforming them but doing it in the way that Mind Waves is suggesting, which is pushing back and being adversarial?
There's half a dozen people who have that skill set. So and by the way, here's the other thing. There's half a dozen people who have that skill set, and even in your top 2 or 3, as a matter of fact, let's break this down this way. There's 3 major political streamers in the Western world as far as I know. It's Hassan, Destiny, and Vosh.
Base.
Hassan is an incompetent
Who's that second
debater. Vosh or Hassan.
Oh, Destiny. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Destiny.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Hassan is an incompetent debater. He's not a good debater, so he can't do it. So you've already eliminated like out of 90% of the clout that's available in this space. You've already eliminated a third of it. Vosh is capable but uninterested. He doesn't want to deal with the strongest version of these nefarious ideas. He doesn't want to do the research. He wants to basically sit in his ivory tower. He wants to bring schizos on, and he wants to shit on them. And that is going to engender a certain amount of irrelevance. Destiny does do this, but he's only one man. So that leaves the remaining 10%
No
for the rest
criticisms
of
from
us
me
who
at
are...
all. Feels dick ridden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, fuck you, because I feel like I'm as competent as you when it comes to debating this shit, but I'm not as entertaining.
Okay. I think you're pretty entertaining.
Cope.
What? Why would I lie to him?
No, I'm
Okay,
not.
but-
Because he's dick riding me. It's a mutual dick ride. Also,
So then where does Star
metaphor for
come
gay
in?
sex.
Because Star isn't as big as any of these three.
Right.
But she
Yeah,
had the
she's
opportunity. But
fighting
she
over the remaining 10%, and she's
But she
not
had
as
the
confident as a debater as everybody else, and expecting her to be that is an unrealistic expectation.
Well, to me,
I don't think that you have to
I
be a
don't.
competent debater. I think that
a new
being
challenge.
a competent, like a competent
Interviewer.
is sufficient to be able to do that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, somebody like
so
Lex
can you start
Fridman, right?
listing- Can you list? Well, okay. So can you list out the whatever the virtues that form a competent debater or interviewer? Excuse me.
Control
I think
over
that a
the
lot of-
narrative, control over the flow of the conversation. That's
Nobody
a huge
wants to
part.
do that.
What? No,
Nobody
like
wants to
any good interviewer does that. Also, being able to bait out responses from the person that you're interviewing, right? Getting people to clarify exactly what they mean when they say certain things. These are all skill sets that a good interviewer has, and this is something that Stardust either doesn't care to engage in or doesn't have the skill set.
An example of something that Mindwave just said, like Destiny brought up the Western values thing, right? Instead of just like setting down and just letting them say the Western values thing, if you feel like they're dog whistling, like, well, you need to actually have like a white nation, right? Like making them answer that question, like, what do you mean by Western values, right?
Right. What exactly do you mean by Western values?
Yeah. And if they don't give
Constitutionalism,
us
republicanism, the freedom of speech.
Those are buzzwords.
No
what do you mean
Muslims.
specifically? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
No, that's
and
a bit more
eventually you would
specific,
get them
yeah.
to say no Muslims because a lot of those people would say that, right?
Up until recently, where they
Yeah.
flip-flopped and they were like, ooh,
Now
Muslims are actually
yeah,
based social
Islam is
conservatives.
based. we
Like
can have
an
a
example,
harem.
an example from the Stardust interview with Richard Spencer would be like every time that Spencer sat there and was like gawking at the rhetoric of Ye talking about oh, it's just his message is so powerful or whatever, being like, okay, well, what do you find powerful about his rhetoric, right? Because if we think about it, what is Ye's rhetoric? It has literally been nothing but just pure anti-Semitism. He's not been talking about policy like solutions or anything like that, right? Literally, his whole shtick right now is anti-Semitism. So like to
But
make
isn't
him
this
to make
a
him bite
mistake?
that bullet would be very like key.
Okay, but so isn't this a mistake? Because basically what you're saying, one, this rhetoric doesn't appeal to me. Two, I don't think Stardust is doing a good enough job of teasing out this rhetoric. And three, basically, like, I see the deeper, more nefarious meaning, and also on top of that, I think that the negative implications of it are actually pretty fucked up. So wouldn't it take somebody like you, who has the skill set or at least the ability to articulate the skill set to have this conversation? But then we get back to the fact that you don't think it's worth it to have this conversation in the first place, and then we have a different value set.
Well, that's the thing, is that like I'm personally not at this moment interested in doing that, right? But if somebody is in this space trying to do that, or like actively engaging in these things, I think it's fair to criticize them when they come short, or not even just come short, but don't even try.
And I guess the frustration for me is basically Twitch politics, the community. From my perspective, I've heard this like echoed a lot. It's on life support. So the big players, Destiny's busy with his own shit. So he drops in every now and then. Vosh is in his ivory castle. Hassan has no interest in doing it. Denims has no interest in
But
doing it.
I would hate to see people in this space basically throw their values to the wayside just for the sake of like viewership at the end of the day.
I don't think it's just viewership. I think,
but it
Star's
is.
Following,
Inviting
she's
Richard
following
Spencer
her
on for
values.
an interview is not having any impact on our broader community. I'm sorry.
Wait,
think
Connor,
you're
what
not
do you
tracking the
think her
Overton
goal
window.
is? What were you saying?
Well, so I would say Star. I've heard articulated many goals. Okay, so the one when it comes to her representation in right-wing spaces, she's trying to be the token minority, so she causes some level of cognitive dissonance where racist people who should not like her and who have been hearing a bunch of like nefarious rhetoric, they have to square themselves with the fact that she's pretty cool and pretty funny. Okay, that's something that she has stated is intentional, and I think is true. So for all of the dogging of Star in this conversation about like interview skill sets or debate skill sets, I think she does have that talent to be funny and charming and personable and cause cognitive dissonance through her sheer existence. I think.
Well, is that why? Just to clarify, is that why you think she took it easy on Richard Spencer? Was because if
probably to maintain the relationship, and she doesn't know where the lines are.
Well, if she challenged him too much or contradicted him too much, it might jeopardize
that relationship. She wants to play it safe, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that, but that is, she might be playing it too safe, right? But these are all things that we dial in over time. Like there's some relationships worth maintaining, and there's some relationships that aren't worth maintaining. So for instance, like Shuan Head might be a retard, but I think she has like a decent moral compass, and she's funny and she has good content. I know Destiny does not share this perspective. But I kind of like publicly backed her on this whole like Balenciaga thing, knowing that it could potentially jeopardize relationships within the space, but because I felt like it was worth it. Because anybody who's gonna fucking pearl clutch about that situation and say like Shu is a closet fucking Nazi, I don't need to continue having a relationship with that person.
Damn.
But that's where if you're saying that Star is being too charitable to the dissident right, and as a result she's not properly dialing in her relationships, that might be a conversation worth having where you're like, hey Star, you're playing it too safe. Because you're prioritizing
I feel like that was the
feelings
conversation
of
I
the
did.
alt-right
That's
over
the conversation I did try to have with her though, right? And she just wasn't willing to hear it. Maybe I'd used the word platforming, and that's just like a trigger to anybody like Chud or fucking Stardust. Maybe I should avoid that word. I don't know, but like, I don't know.
I think a alternative. I'm not saying she would be receptive to this, by the way. I'm just saying this is my perspective. I think, appealing to somebody's motivated reasoning by basically saying like, hey, this would be better content. And on top of that, you're pussyfooting with the far right, whereas I think that there's more room than you think there is. So as a result, how about you try this strategy or talk to the far right people and see if they're receptive to this style of conversation?
Right.
I think that would be a perfectly reasonable thing to say and ask.
Yeah, I think you're right to some degree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, if I had a criticism, like, I'm not, I know it's been, we don't necessarily agree on some shit, but if I had a criticism, it would just be that I think your perspective would have been sound in the Twitch politics of even 2 years ago.
When I was streaming, yeah.
Called you washed the fuck up. That's what he's saying, basically.
Yeah. No, but I do feel, I feel the ground shifting beneath my feet. I do. In the ground shifting beneath my feet is Twitch will not be the center of politics the way that it was, just because of TOS and banning. People will probably stay on there because of, they will stay on there because of monetization, but not because they actually think it's a good platform. And then I think that a majority of the scene is going to shift to YouTube, and we'll basically what we'll do. This is my game plan because I plan on starting a panel show in January. If somebody who is banned from Twitch wants to come on to YouTube, we will just solo stream on YouTube because it will be worth it to have a better conversation rather than pussyfooting.
I don't think that panel scene is ever coming back. I think that everybody fucking hates each other way too much. I think that one of the big reasons that Hippy Dippy... okay, you know what? You're right. Lefties do, but guess what? Half of the panel usually has to be lefties if you want it to be a balanced thing, right?
So who gives a fuck about balance? The Overton window is shifting away from you guys, and you're like, oh, well, we control the narrative.
Right, don't say
like, no,
you guys, all right? Don't let me in with those guys.
I feel like you're providing pushback when I said the exact same thing you just did, Connor, as well.
What?
Like, that the scene isn't coming back. Like, Twitch is dying. Like, Twitch politics is dead.
Okay, then can you reformulate your definition of Twitch politics to a
I guess doing
debate
politics
scene?
and debate on Twitch is what I mean.
Okay, and what I mean is the community of political debaters who make money and clout and attention based off of doing political debate. That's what I mean.
Okay, fair enough.
So, what the fuck was I thinking? And by the way, like, this is, you know, you can say, like, these lefties aren't coming back. Vosh isn't coming back. Denims isn't coming back. Mike from PA isn't coming back. Guess what? We don't fucking need them.
You should
They can
shame
go into
people
their
that are
own-
friends with them. These guys are like really like the most disgusting type of like clout sharky, like I got mine, get fucked people in the world. I can't believe you guys all were okay with it. Pretty gross.
But so yeah, and that's what I would say is like they can go into their fucking hug box and circle jerk all the fuck they want, and then here's the thing, they're gonna pretend they're above it all while it's small. And then when the scene becomes relevant, I fucking guarantee their tune will change about whether or not they come on a panel.
Don't
if
let
that
them back
panel
in,
has
though.
like a few thousand live viewers.
Yeah, don't ever let him back in.
I'm a relationship guy. I don't give a fuck about
That's
this.
not a relationship guy.
Content
That's
is
a
content.
cucked guy. You're talking about getting cucked there. And trust me, I'm an expert on getting cucked apparently. So.
Okay. Well, the point being that no, I think Chud. I disagree with Chud because he believes like all of this rhetoric has no impact on people or like the external space or whatever. It's all just content, and everybody in his audience is just somebody who fucking like sleeps in their own jizz sock while not doing anything proactive in their lives except for give $5 to Chud. I think that's his perspective. I don't agree with that shit, but I do agree that the worldly impact is not zero, but it's overblown. And we could have a good impact. We just actively choose not to.
Jeez. Okay, final thoughts before I have to go do my wonderful D&D.
What, I'm more interested in what your final thoughts are, Destiny. Do you have any thoughts about any of those?
He wants us to create our own scene and then cuck the cucks.
No, I mean, I'm always down to do if there are show. I mean, it's obviously harder to do it on Twitch stuff, but what are my thoughts about what in particular? I mean, I think you should try when you're platforming people. You should be like pretty responsible in your rhetoric. Make sure you're not like letting them get away with a whole bunch of crazy shit. Of course.
Okay. Do you think that like what Connor says about maybe changing the way I approach Stardust would be more effective, or I don't know?
I guess it just depends on what your goal is with her.
Yeah.
Just to shame her for being insufficiently leftist.
No, it's just to farm content off of her, to be honest.
True. Fucking true. All right, my last shout out. We're gonna be doing a panel show in January. This was all just a big commercial. That's what it was.
Okay.
So it was a big advertisement for the revitalization of the panel scene in January.
Oh, that's why you took it personal.
Yeah, true. But then also because this community has the potential for good, but just chooses not to actively do it. There is a gentleman by the name of Mike Awesome. He's been in Prime Kai's community for a while. He has heart disease and liver disease. He needs both transplants. He's been approved for... he's been approved for both transplants, but he needs to fundraise like 25 grand for the living expenses while he's recovering. And he's like 5 grand into the goal. I'll be doing a fundraiser stream at the end of the month. So any rich DGGers who actually want to save, this is pretty much the puppy situation for Darius, but a human being. So anybody who wants to participate in the puppy has parvo $10,000 donation shit, we'll be doing this towards Christmas.
Wow. Well, cool.
That's
All
it
right.
for me.
Well, good luck. Damn.
All right, appreciate y'all. You have a beautiful afternoon.
Have fun. Stay safe, my dudes.
I appreciate your perspective, by the way, Connor. Even if you know.
Dude, I love you. You're one of the OGs.
Simpler.
So
sipping.
Well, I won't just dick ride you, motherfucker. No, you were one of the OGs when I saw like the classic panels. That was part of what wanted me to get in the scene. I was like, I gotta get on this fucking show because I wanna yell at these cunts.
That's good. That was partly my goal as well with those things, is that like when I was starting the podcast and stuff like that, like there was no scene, like nobody was interacting with each other. So
Yeah.
So you inspired. I know Destiny's got to go. You inspired a new generation. So to hear you blackpilled on it is a little blackpilling.
Nice.
So that's
okay.
why I fight.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Stay safe.
Bye,
We're gonna-
everybody.
it's gonna
All
be
right.
good.
Yeah.
Later, my dude.
Betcha.
Catch you guys later.
All right, I'm moving over to Destiny. Stay safe. Apparently I have a fan. I don't know if he's a fan or not, but a guy made this music. Here you go. It's cool. That's what we're listening to. I'll see you over on Destiny in a bit.